Okay, I'm kind of happy with this now. I'm gonna lower my volume level. You guys, give me some test talk. Say some shit. Okay, that's not giving me what I would like. Hmm. Again, one more time, please.
Hello?
Yes, that is better. Okay, yes, I am hearing you loud and clear. Ja. Let me get. Frauke, dein fucking Ernst? This is what you wanna be?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Fine. This is
It's
what
like
you're gonna be.
a semi-nude paladin or what?
No, 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 no. It's just, it's very much, very Frauke. Um, very,
Okay.
very
All right,
Frauke.
let it surprise us.
Yeah, give me a sec. I just gotta delete the BG, and then I need to add.
We were making new characters after, right?
No, no, these
Yeah,
are.
yeah, we
Oh, you mean the second time around? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And then I need one with.
Hey guys, who's waiting for Cyberpunk 2077?
Oh, we were just talking about that before you came here.
Hmm.
I suppose we all. Ali, did you know that Cyberpunk is originally a D&D rule book?
No, really?
Yeah, Cyberpunk 2020 is the original, and it's based
I
on
don't know why I'm
that they're
saying
making
yeah,
the new one.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I was
so
telling Faisal earlier today, dude.
excuse me, Mo. You fucking cunt. I was Ali, don't believe him. I came with the info, okay? Our fucking dungeon master don't know shit, bro. Fucking trash.
What are you talking about? I wrote first edition, man. I wrote
First-
first edition. I was born.
It's actually called I don't know. Wait, Mo, are you Paki or Hindi? I forgot.
Hindi.
Hindi, okay. Yeah, originally it was called like I don't know.
Wait, whereabouts, Mo?
Turbans
In
and
India.
curry. But
Bombay.
then
Maharashtra.
Turbans and curry.
yeah, and then they
Bro,
were
I play that game.
like, for branding reasons, we're gonna change that to be Dungeons and Dragons.
For international appeal.
I'm stupid.
What, just make a Rajas and Elephants edition?
We had schnitzel and pommes before that.
Okay,
Faisal,
I am
we
gonna.
good to go, bro?
We are almost good to go, but I need to make pee. Everyone need to make pee. Go make pee now. Okay. Pee. I'll be right back.
God.
Good thing this is recorded.
Forgive me.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I love how we were
Should
all
have been
like
preparing
hating
this
on
much
Ali.
sooner. This is my fault.
How dare you being late, Ali?
I'm sorry. You see, I worked till like 8:30. Then I had to go eat real quick, and then the train got delayed. So
Rip, man.
yeah.
It's chill, dude. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's casual.
Yeah, I mean, like we obviously didn't use the time to like, Faisal
True.
didn't get shit done till now.
We mixed up.
We spend the time pretty productively. I think I have like some ideas for
Yeah.
the kind of world and campaign we're going for. So at least that. Actually, I forgot to ask, what kind of scale would you guys prefer? Because I can go two ways. I can make a really big
I
city.
have returned. Yeah.
Yo, Faisal, I was asking, what scale of a campaign would you prefer? I can either make a very detailed city and the whole campaign, or like the beginning portion of the campaign would be localized to that city.
Or like a
Or I
whole
can
world,
make, like,
and it's like not as
yeah,
detailed
and then it's
bit per
like,
bit.
yeah, it would be more improvisation based, but like I would have a better idea of the greater world. So like it would be more exploration based than localized to one vicinity.
That's a
But
good.
I personally would go for the second one because of, getting quests and just wandering out to the world would be nicer.
I think based on what Frauko was saying as well, that makes a lot of sense. Like a lot of dungeons and stuff, it would require like traveling and
While I would,
stuff.
While I would enjoy like to see a very detailed city, I can also understand that it's probably more appealing to make it like a big ass world.
Starting with a big world is usually like, unless you're going for really specific gameplay, I would recommend, because later down the line, I can always, if you guys are basically between each session, I'm always going to be asking you guys what you want to see, just so that I can prepare new shit that's more in line with what you want. Generally speaking, good games are run by like communication between the party and the DM. It's impossible for me to guess what's on your mind. And like if it comes to that, like we want to explore something really deeply, I can make a quest chain around like one city, and then you can go like really deep into the city.
The question is, what can you do in the huge ass city? Like, do you only talk to people and figure out, like, strategically figure out things out, or is there like
So it really depends. Like one of the campaigns, that the one I'm doing tomorrow, it's all based in one city. The
Alright.
city is a metropolis, so it's a fucking big city, but like it's set up in sectors, and traveling between sectors is difficult. So their goal right now is to basically escape the poorer sector and move upward in life. Like, so really it depends on what kind of storyline you want. If you want to do like all criminal storylines are really good for cities, because you can, as a criminal, you then know the city really well, and it makes it easy to start like doing crime. So anything criminal, a city would be a good background for. Aside from that, like what else? Running any kind of guild, working through any kind of guild, working up any kind of organization, all of those, like running into it, being set up in a city is a good idea.
Alright,
If you're doing like a campaign wandering around the world, then usually getting into a city would mean trying to solve a problem for a city. So like, for
That
an
is
example,
if they let us through the gates.
yeah, I mean, but there's always a way in a city that's not the gates, you know, like.
yeah, I understand. What would be the
Coming
combat
through the
style like in
sewers or
fighting
whatever.
cities? Like, are you fighting other thugs, other guilds? Like, you're not fighting creatures anymore, but you're like fighting other humans, right?
It depends on city to city. So, if you guys want it, it can be very like humanoid based. So like you'd be fighting thugs, gangs, political factions. If you guys want it, there's even like potential for a city that's completely under the rule of a dragon, and you have to defeat like a dragon and its minions.
Whoa, that's pretty amazing.
That's a potential plot line. There's
What's the
tons of
dragon's
plots.
tax policy?
What the fuck?
Dragons' tax policies are generally like you need
Bro,
to come up
dragons
with
are
this
like
much wealth.
free market capitalists, man. Come on, you should know this.
Yeah, like you need to come up with this much wealth, or I will eat you, or eat a portion of the people. Most common cases, like if someone's taking over a city, it's most likely a red dragon. Red dragons are the most likely type to do that, and they are obsessed with wealth and obsessed with power. So they generally do something like, if you can't come up with this much gold, you need to make up for the difference in weight using human bodies. So I will eat that much of your population. Like,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, so that's definitely an option. There's different options that are less direct, like a city under the control of a lich would be much harder to figure out, because a lich wouldn't show himself, but he would have like followers within the city's political spectrum. And then it becomes about like discovering the secret behind the political.
I understand. I think I don't hear more anymore. I don't hear
He
anybody.
hasn't. Here, no one's talking, Ali. I don't know. What's up?
Okay, I just got scared because it just interrupted.
Okay.
Oh, is Mo still there?
Mo is still there, I'm pretty sure, right? Mo? Nope.
No, he's not.
Oh.
UTC.
Well, there goes our DM. Good game, guys. Good game. It was fun. Talk to you.
Goblins killed our
You guys
DM.
hear me?
Hey,
Can
hello.
you guys hear me?
Yes, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just couldn't hear you guys randomly. Are
Troll
we good to go?
toll, I suppose. My scene switcher isn't working perfectly, but now I've got it to where at least they see the board, so we can just stick with the board for now.
It's at least a production.
Yes, it's at least something people can follow later.
So we continue the story with.
Is everyone
you
seeing the
guys are-
board? Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You guys were in a hollowed out hill, just a temporary, by the looks of it, goblin hideout. There was a hobgoblin taking the lead, and 6 other goblins that you dealt with, as well as another 2 that came during the night that you managed to scare off.
Oh wait, we need.
And so you
music.
basically, I'll just keep going.
keep
Just
going.
put it
Keep
in.
going. I'll put it in.
And so you basically wake up to the same like carved out smooth stone walls of the hill that you went to sleep in. Butler, who was supposed to be keeping watch, is passed the fuck out in the back of the cave. He fell asleep at some point during his watch. And hold on, let me fix the volume.
No, this is the wrong one.
Faisal, were there guns in the loot? 'Cause there was only a crossbow. I don't recall guns.
There was no guns. There's
Yeah,
definitely
how
no
the
guns.
hell do you have guns, Faisal?
You mean my character?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a character model.
Yeah, so having taken over this hideout, you guys managed to discover a crossbow in some like rotten chest that looked like it was very ornate, maybe like a century ago. And there was how many nets? Did anyone actually write down how many nets? I
So
believe
what
it
I
was
wrote
8,
down.
I think.
8?
It
It
No.
wasn't 8.
No,
It
no.
definitely wasn't 8.
No, 3 or something
Then
like
don't
that.
ask me, I guess.
Yeah, I had 3 down.
You have 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Push it up to 4 because that's what I remembered, and that just seems fair.
Okay.
So 4 nets, and apparently a penis.
Sorry, that was my
Which is as big as the whole like
Yeah.
cave.
Okay. We know this
The
is a
hobgoblin
fantasy game.
penis.
You don't have to make your fantasies come alive, Faisal. Okay.
So you all slowly rouse. Armor's like awake, but he's not really talking to anybody. He's like in his own headspace, just vibed out. But yeah, you slowly, one by one, the whole party wakes up. The fire is like dying out.
We had
last
a
few
fire?
embers are.
You could have told
Yeah,
the
there was
FX
one.
team.
Whatever.
I could have. I just didn't. I didn't remember. Yeah,
Okay.
the last session. But the fire pit's like dying out. Last few embers are like crackling out. You're starting to feel slightly cold. It's like a chilly morning, and without the fire, there, like you're slowly waking up. The cold seeping into your like bones. And one by one, you all file out of the cavern, and you make it into the same forest scenery that you've been traveling in for the past few days. So dense forest, lots of trees packed together. But the entrance being near the top of the hill, you can actually see a decent ways into the forest. So could I get a perception check from everybody?
Do we roll inside the chat again, or do we roll through here?
Inside the chat, so normal rolls is the one.
And we're just all on like a road right now.
No, so you just
Huh?
all came out of the hill,
Yeah.
and the hill was like just in the middle of the forest, but it's quite a tall mound of earth, stone. So I'm essentially getting you to roll perception check for like climbing up on the top of the hill, and looking at surveying the situation around you.
Okay, fine. Let me go back and roll.
God.
What was my fucking perception though? Me perception 2 plus 2. So 1d20 plus 2. Fuck.
Better, I think we forgot our glasses or something.
Okay, so
I mean, I fell asleep for a reason.
so Ali and Amr are at the top of the hill, and they're pointing it out to the rest of you as they see it like as they see it visible in the distance behind the forest. But At the end of the tree line, you see like a vast range of mountains that you recognize as like the Underhammer Mountains. That's where you're going. It looks to be about like 2 days of travel away, and just like barely visible in the like kind of thin mountain fog at the base, you can see a city. It's not very big, but it's a reasonably large settlement. You can see a couple of like fires and like little bright points of light at this distance. No specific details, but you can see it at the base of the cliff, like at the base of the valley that's like in between two of the mountains. And you recognize that that's where you're going, so you have like your bearing for travel for today. You know where you're going. It's pretty straightforward. And
They have a space needle. Is that okay?
given that Anwar is the driving the wagon, you guys, no one has to worry about navigation. Basically, he has it under control. So you guys, you get off the hill, you grab your horse, you make the sort of like 30-40 minute walk down to the wagon. And then as you reach the wagon, Brother, last session you were saying you wanted to do some
Repair
minor
it with my
repairs.
woodworking skills.
So
I still got my potions and ale, right? The fire ale from last session.
yes, you still have your potions and file. Actually, so repairing the wagon is going to take 20 minutes. If you want, you can spend the 20 minutes searching for herbs stuff.
Are we
anyone
still
who's not-
close
Yeah.
to where we attacked the goblins, or where the goblins attacked us?
So yeah, that's where you guys are now. So you came back to where the goblins attacked you because that's where you hitched the wagon. And
Oh. Can I
you are now
collect my javelin then?
yes, you can. It's still there. Very easy
Can we
to
loot them?
pick up. You can search if you roll an investigation, you can search for anything on the goblins.
Alright,
that.
Ali, roll. Also, Ali, are you happy to be playing in a world where you can look for herb again?
Brother, roll a sleight of hand check. Look for sleight of hand.
Got it.
Okay, I looted the goblin.
And add your proficiency bonus. It should be on the main page with all your stats.
This is a terrible wagon, guys. I'm sorry.
All right, I'll add the proficiency with the sleight of hand.
So what's your bonus on sleight of hand?
+4, proficiency +2.
So you add +6 onto your roll.
Alright, did my loot succeed?
Okay, so wow, it's actually a really fucking good roll. You go through the goblins. Most of their shit is garbage, like moldy, like weathered out leather armor, just shitty gear, rusted swords, rusted crossbows, like barely functioning string. You find like 4 crossbow bolts on one of them, and you find a gold piece on the other.
What again? Gold and?
A gold piece, 1 GP.
Alright, I'm taking gold. And I'm taking the
you have
goblin
to-
head as well.
You have to, if you wanted to add what it is, you do this. So I'm adding spaces so it doesn't do it, but if you format it like that, it'll do what you want.
So I just write picking up stuff, right?
I was explaining for Budder. You don't have to worry about it.
Okay. So can you tell me
so
again
yeah.
what I picked up? So I just write it down.
You can just add the 1 GP to your currency thing.
Okay.
And then and then for the crossbow bolts, you can give them to Budder because he's the ranger with the crossbow, or you can keep them yourself. It's up
No,
to
I'm
you.
giving them to Better.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
Budder, note down that you have 4 crossbow bolts. Remember that you have to remove the canister that functions as like
Yeah,
the
and you
net.
said it takes 20 minutes to, yeah.
Yeah, so a
I
short
got
rest.
that down.
Yeah. And so whilst you guys are, retrieving your objects, Ali, you were also searching for herbs, right? You were going to?
I wanted to decapitate one of the goblins' heads. I take him with me.
Why? Do you want to take a
Okay.
goblin head with you?
Maybe somebody wanted them to be dead and we got them and we're gonna get paid. Maybe who knows?
Roll just a general fucking strength check for me.
Okay.
So whilst this is all going on, whilst you're like mauling goblin corpses and looting them and doing shit, Brother like takes out his wood carving tools and he grabs like some good pieces of like dry tinder, not tinder, dry branches, like, and he starts carving away and he patches up the wagon. Actually, like, very good craftsmanship. You can barely tell that anything ever happened. It looks like it's a fully functioning wagon again.
Yay!
Nice.
Putting them all next to each
Ali,
other.
it takes you like 2 swings, but you have the head. You have a goblin head. Note that down in your notes that you have a goblin head.
Something
Okay,
is very wrong with our
so-
avatar sizes. I'm sorry.
So, with Anwar taking the lead, the horse now hitched back onto the wagon. You guys slowly start to make your way. So, every time we do movement in D&D, there are 3 paces that you can take. You can take a fast pace, which means you have to roll stealth with disadvantage, because it tells me how much you're like making noise while you move at a fast pace. You can move at a regular pace, which means you don't roll stealth at all. You're just moving. You're not trying to hide. Or you can move at a stealthy pace, which means you do half movement, and you have to roll stealth. The benefit of fast pace is you move double movement, by the way. I forgot to mention that. So was that clear? Should I go over that again?
No, it's
No, I
not
think
clear.
that's clear. Okay, so when
Yeah,
you're
the
fast, you're not
benefit-
stealthy, and when you're stealthy, you're not fast.
Yes.
Simple.
So what pace are we going to be moving at
Fast.
as a party?
Yeah, let's go fast,
We
guys.
move at fast.
Fast
So
and
everyone
furious.
roll stealth at disadvantage.
At disadvantage. Oh.
And I'm
Yeah.
always at disadvantage.
Yes, but so you just roll flat, like there's no like
Okay.
double disadvantage.
But
Okay.
what's the disadvantage?
Which means you roll twice and you take the weakest one. So do, instead of 1d20, do 2d20. And then plus whatever number you had.
Oh, okay, sorry for that.
For stealth, remember.
Yeah, stealth. I think I got more than 1, so it doesn't matter really. +1,
Damn, dude.
so I got 12.
Almost fucking druid build is wacky, man. He's got +4 for stealth. It's really wild. Got 2 10s. Okay, so 14, 9, 17 plus 8. Damn, facial.
Yeah, man. I'm on a roll, as they say. D&D pun.
Okay, so despite moving pretty quick because of Faisal's roll and Brauka's weirdly good roll as well, despite being in full like heavy armor, you make reasonable pace. Like the wagon is relatively quiet. You make your way down the road. Everyone roll perception for me. Oh no, we already did perception rolls right at the beginning, so I'll just use those values. So you make it through a couple of hours of travel. You got up at about sunup, and it's been about 3 hours, just under 3 hours of travel. You're starting to get kind of bored, as you have been for the past like day and a half of travel, of general travel from the last town. It's just getting kind of boring, just looking at the same scrolling past like sea of trees, just old bark and dirt and grass and ferns. And Ali, everyone else seems to be phasing out, Ali, but you see something in the tree line, like 40, 50 feet away. It's
Okay.
pretty far. You could avoid it. You could just sneak past it essentially, or you could choose to engage it or like get
Oh.
closer and try to see what it is.
Right, I warned the guys to become slower.
Okay, so you reduce the pace.
Yeah, we reduced the pace.
So give me another set of stealth rolls for sneaking up on this thing if you want to do that. Oh wait, you didn't say anything yet. So we'll say they reduce the pace and then what?
Just try to pass them quietly.
Trying to pass it quietly?
Mhm.
Okay, so then yeah, just another set of stealth rolls.
From everyone?
Yes, everyone.
1 second.
You have to do it at disadvantage, Franco, because you're in heavy armor.
Oh
Everyone
yeah,
else
right.
is regular.
Damn.
Why does Falk have to roll everything at disadvantage?
Because I have
She's
heavy
wearing
armor.
metal plate, dude.
Oh, for
Didn't you
stealth.
see? I
Wait, are
have
we
heavy
doing?
armor.
My bad. It was so obvious.
Ali,
It's a
Ali, you
stealth
don't
roll,
have to
right?
roll at yeah, it's just a single roll for everyone
Oh.
else, but I'll take your highest because it was the first. So 17, 26, damn, 8, 15 to 17. So slowly you manage to move by, and as you like go down the road and sort of watch from a distance, you get to about 30 feet away, and you start to get a good view of what it is. And you notice it's like a bunch of vines that seem to have taken over like about 10 square feet of forest ground. And what Ali was seeing, the movement he was seeing, is that a rabbit walked into the middle of the 10-foot square, and the vines are like strangling it at various parts of its body, and seem to be like wringing the rabbit like to its death. And as you notice that, you also start to notice that in the distance up ahead, there are several patches of these vines. Like some of them overlapping into the road, other ones sort of like 10, 15 feet away, but there are patches everywhere of this like weird vine species that seems to be animated and capable of movement.
Can I investigate?
So if you want to investigate, roll a survival check or an investigation, whichever one is higher.
Well, both the same. So 1d20, right?
Yep.
Done.
Very nice.
Was that your 22? Is that the roll?
Yeah.
Okay, so part of being a mage is like understanding magical creatures and understanding the way that magic interacts with other life forms. And in your studies of magic, you would have come across several plant types that are magical creatures. And this is called a vine blight. It's a plant-like creature that essentially strangulates anyone that walks within its vicinity and then drains it of nutrients in order to feed itself.
Mm-hmm.
And they tend to grow sort of like once they reach full maturity, they'll like sporulate like a mushroom, and they tend to like grow in patches around areas of forest that they start to take over. And they'll strangle anything that comes in their way, essentially. If you get within their range, if you happen to be a tree that's within their range, they'll strangle that too. It doesn't matter. They're just capable of like wringing life out of anything that comes within their area.
All right, I understand. So I come back and try to talk with my friends about it.
You
Okay.
attempt to, but only
Right.
just.
So I basically asked them, guys, what do you guys think? If we let it spread, it might spread through the whole forest. But if we stop it now, it might be easier than later. What do you guys think?
What's
I
in it for
mean-
us, though?
Who knows? It might be our advantage if we deal with it now than later.
I mean, okay, Ali, from your observation in investigating, did you see it grow quickly? Like, do we have to act fast, or can we continue to talk about it and discuss?
And the thing is, it might grow. Like if we might forget about it in the future too, and then if we like being outside here and get caught by them, it'll be a trouble for us in the future.
So, I'll give you some further information. You know they have a 5-foot movement speed. They can move like 5 foot in comparison. So everything in the game has a speed. You guys have a 30-foot speed, so in one turn, 6 seconds, you can move 30 feet. In 6 seconds, they can move 5 feet.
Okay.
They're very slow moving. The only danger of leaving these is that over time, they will probably take over this road. the good thing to do would be to get rid of these, but you have no obligation to do that. You can just avoid them. You guys rolled high enough that you can just take the wagon and leave it. And the only way it would affect you is if you came back on this road sometime in the future. There would most likely be an infestation of vine blight, like all over the road at a certain point.
So you guys think, should we take care of it now?
I'm leaning more towards no, but I was thinking because armor still can transform, right? I'm sure.
No, he doesn't. Oh wait, did
Yes,
he rest?
no. He did his long rest, so all of his transformation wild shape points reset. So
What
Yeah,
does
can
the transformation
my
bring?
only thing I might push for is if armor becomes like a rabbit and then talks to the rabbit, and then see if we can get some like compensation, stuff like that, and then that's all. Because if not, then like I say we just move on.
I mean, okay, so out of character as a DM, you guys can do that. It would be hilarious to do that. If he rolled a high enough persuasion check as a rabbit, I will reward you. But
Ooh, let's do it. Rabbits, no man.
Let's
they know the
go.
treasure.
Let's go. Let me
You're
get.
having so much fun.
Let me
with
get
Alright.
the art asset.
So you guys decide on moving, continue moving, right?
No, we're
So-
gonna talk to the
No.
rabbit.
Yeah, we're gonna talk to the rabbit.
What we're gonna do right now?
So
Okay.
Yeah.
there's a so we'll say that you guys pull the wagon off to the side, away from any of these vine blight, and Amr uses a wild shape point to turn into a rabbit. Okay. And so okay, I'll have to roll an investigation for him to see if he finds a rabbit in the first place.
It's
Uh,
pretty- I hope he doesn't get caught by these vines.
if he rolls poorly, dude.
He'll be fine. Boing. Okay. So that way here we
Here's a
need a
plus
different
3.
rabbit, right?
Faisal, I sent you something, and I want you to show this to the rabbit to tell him that if he's lying about
1 second.
the treasures and whatnot,
One
that he will become this.
This is the
Okay,
closest I
17.
can get to strangling the rabbit. Is that okay, guys?
Yeah.
It's cute.
Oh, he felt that.
Okay, so fucking rabbits have 1 HP. Okay.
Okay.
So Amr like goes up to a rabbit. He tries to communicate with it. The rabbit gets pissed. It bites him, and then Amr transforms back into a human. And there's just a rabbit like attached to his neck, like where it bit him. And the thing like freaks out, and just jumps off him and starts running away. In essence, he fails. He fails to communicate with the rabbit. It's
Oh.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna free the rabbit, and then we're gonna cook him.
But he's already run away.
No, but he ran
ran
away.
away.
no. That was a different rabbit. So he went and found a different rabbit. The rabbit you found stuck in the vines is fucking dead. It's done.
Okay.
Oh.
It was being strangled while Ali saw it, and they have like 1 HP, dude. Like
So
the moment
they
we looked
were-
away, it was dead.
Alright.
Um,
Guys, I'm a mage. I have firebolt. Okay, it's not gonna take that long to destroy a couple of vines, and then
no, you'll burn down the whole forest. This is how forest fires start.
Firebolt is so it's like a golf ball sized ball of fire. So if you throw it at a tree, it's not gonna catch fire. It'll singe the tree, like if that makes sense. Because once it contacts something, once it gets into contact with something, it immediately diffuses. Like it doesn't. You can't start a fire with firebolt. Firebolt, rather.
Yeah, I have another spell for that.
Yeah. Later on at high levels, you get fireball, which is an area of effect, and that can start a fire. Because you're throwing a fire explosion that's like 20 feet radius, so That
So
will
you
burn
guys,
down a forest.
what do you guys think? So we should just ignore this, or should we deal with it now?
You also have, by the way, you have the Goblin Ale, which works as a Molotov.
All
You
right.
can expend those to take away the vine blight. But like I said, there's no benefit to it other than being a
That's
good
the
person.
thing. These are expendable. These aren't expendable resources, you know.
But look, I
Like,
just want to imagine, what if we cross this path again and then one of us gets caught while we're fighting something? You know what I mean?
no, it's super slow. We'll know like if it's catching up to us.
What if we roll perception really low and we don't know where they're there? You know what I mean?
Wait, will we need to roll perception again if we're on this path?
Not, but
No,
like
so you've
if we're in
rolled
a
a high
fight.
enough perception to like Ali will be able to see anything that's on this path at least for the next hour. So if you start traversing this path and there are still vine blight in an hour, first of all, you have way bigger problems. Second of all, Ali will have to roll again. Like it's not that big of a patch. Like you can see that it's just starting to take over the road.
All right, how
It'll
about
be
this?
10 minutes.
Ali,
It'll be like,
I'm down
yeah,
to deal with
continue.
it just because when we go into the city and we get more missions, we might cross this path again, and we don't want to deal with it. So I
Yeah.
can be on your
Alright,
side.
let's deal with that. You guys can deal with it. I think I'll just chill out in the wagon. Tired.
Well, how about you go search some more herbs while we do that, okay?
Wait, Mo, would my wood carving tools, because I have like chisels and saws and stuff, would they
Yeah.
help?
It's capable of attacking an adventurer, bro. If you want to come at it with your wood carving tools, like you can do it, but you're gonna be taking a chisel against something that's capable of strangling a human.
All right, yeah, I'll just use
Probably
my.
Ali and I should go and just like I take my axe and just like
Yeah, cut them down, burn them down, and we
yeah.
just
Okay, everybody roll an intelligence. Ali roll intelligence with advantage because you rolled high on the survival.
Okay, 1 second. Intelligence, I think it was +6. Intelligence +4 only. Damn. Ah, +6. Okay.
Oh man, no. Why am I so
Oh, I
stupid?
got even
Mo?
worse. I saw that.
Seriously? Oh my god.
We
Yeah,
probably
you have-
even
you have
got the
advantage.
last time intelligence super high.
You have advantage, Ali.
So I do
Roll
twice,
again.
right? Or again,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I hope you don't get one again, dude. God, that was rough.
Anyway, Frauke got 20, so
Oh,
you guys are
Frauke got
good.
20.
Either way.
Frauke
Yeah,
is
she's good.
stealthy, smart, strong. What's going on? It's not fair. Not
It's
fair.
just her day, dude.
Just
it's
her
her
day,
day.
yeah.
So Frauke, you know from
Pathetic, Ali.
Spanish.
This is our mage, yeah?
I got oversmart by vines.
Frauke, you know that like, okay, so you have a good, as somebody who wears like heavy armor and is in combat a lot, you have a good understanding of how difficult something would be to kill or defeat. And you're looking at these vines and they're like thick vines, like
Double
thicker than
C.
forearms. Yeah, dude. And like they're fucking long, so you have a good general understanding that these are strong plants. Like trying to engage them in hand-to-hand combat is you might get one,
Or
maybe
hand-to-vine
two, maybe
combat.
three. Wow,
No?
dude, fucking primo, man. Should start stand-up face up.
I got you. Oh, shit.
But yeah, trying to engage more than like 4 or 5 of them in hand-to-hand combat is you're going to like run out of HP. You're going to spend your whole day just fighting these guys, and then you're going to have to take a rest.
Okay.
You would also know that they're plant, and they have a specific weakness to fire. And so if you could find a controlled way to burn the plants, it would be the optimal solution for clearing this area.
Okay. Well then, a controlled way. Oh, but then Ali, your fireball thing. No, what is it called? Fire. Yeah, would be the way to go. No.
Yeah, but how about we dig around the vines so the fire will not spread with the fire ales I have? So we're gonna take Gonna be quicker.
You don't, like I said, you don't have to worry about the fire from firebolt spreading. It's not
Oh.
big enough to spread.
Alright, so we'll check if Hauke can check in her intelligence because it's high, where the best place to place the fire would be.
So you would know from your survival actually, because this goes into survival.
Mhm.
You want to aim for the center of the 10-foot square. You want to go right into the middle because the roots or the vines rather, they all like branch from like a central locus point. And if you hit that with fire, you know from your like research and stuff that that's the weakest point or the most vulnerable to take damage.
Okay, then I'll go and try firebolt it in the spot.
Okay, so because of their weakness to fire, you can take advantage on any attack using fire.
Alright, I'll go for firebolt.
So roll twice to hit.
Okay. In D2 10, right?
Yep. No, two. So another D20 first to hit. Oh no, wait. 2D20 plus whatever your thing is to hit.
Plus,
I keep getting confused with these rolls. So 6 and 6 is 14. So your fire manages to hit. You just barely manage to hit the plant, and then roll D10 for damage.
Do you guys like the SFX for Firebolt?
A Yu-Gi-Oh card.
No, it's a Magic the Gathering card.
oh, second, sorry, I made a mistake. 1 D10. Done.
Okay, so 6 damage. So the fire itself doesn't actually do all that much damage. It singes the center, but the plant starts freaking out, and you notice that it starts to like slap all of its vines against the ground, and it like pulls the massive roots that it had in the ground out of the ground, and starts to like slowly try to walk away from wherever the fire came.
Tries to walk. Okay, wait, I'm gonna do my best with that one.
So like, yeah, you watch this like cluster of vines sort of using the vines like legs and dragging like a massive roots out of the ground and starting to like super slow walking away. And Frauke, you notice that in the middle of all of the roots there is like something that looks like an organ.
Okay, so 1 second. So this is the closest I can imagine getting to this. Check this out.
Okay. So there's something inside.
It's alive.
Can we like find out what, or get closer, have a closer look what this organ is, or like?
Yeah, you definitely can. So you rolled a reasonable intelligence. If you close the distance, it looks like a sack, kind of like of tissue, like that's filled with like a stomach or some kind of organ for processing the nutrients, and like general like some kind of vascular system. It's like the central point for whatever. Basically, it's all the vital organs for this plant.
Stab it.
Yeah.
Eat it.
You want to stab it?
Is there something more destructive than just stabbing that we can do?
It has a weakness to fire, so.
Ali,
Sure.
you want to try that fireball again?
How about I throw a fire cocktail at it?
Frauke is in range. You're gonna burn her alive, dude.
Okay.
She's in heavy
Frauke,
metal
are
armor.
you in front of the? Are you next to the vines?
I'm next to the like organ thing.
Oh,
She's just out of the like vine range to like kind of look at the organs.
okay.
Right.
But
Can
the
I
vine
go?
range is 10 foot and the Molotov cocktail is 20 foot, so.
Okay, but my firebolt doesn't have a range. Yeah, so I'll try with another
Yeah.
firebolt to aim at the organ.
With
So
firebolt?
2d20?
Yeah, firebolt.
Yes.
Oh wait, okay, wait, no, but that's exactly the right card. Okay, cool, we're good.
Plus D20, right?
Yeah, 2d20 plus 6, I think, is your to
Yeah.
hit.
It was 6.
So what, basically Ali's gonna cook it and then we'll eat it for like nutrients.
and then it's like,
Since he didn't get the
17
rabbit.
plus 6. So
The rabbit's in there.
roll a d10 to hit.
You guys are creepy.
Better just wants to eat.
3.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically Ali like hits it. It's not even like a strong flame, but the organs just like cook out, and it's like they catch fire and just burn on their own as if they're incendiary themselves. And you watch like 30 seconds go by, the vines are like lashing about, and then it suddenly falls still. And like where the sack of organs is, there's just like a burned sort of like husk remaining.
Tasty.
yeah, wait, give me a sec. I got this. There we go.
Okay, so you've dealt with one of these. Along the road, there's like 10 to 15 more.
Fuck.
If you want, what we can do is, I don't want to take you like through every single one of these. It's gonna get boring.
Oh, we
So
just do
we
one
can
for
roll-
all.
Yeah, so we'll roll one Arcana check. It should be on your list, Arcana.
Arcana, oh, this is pretty strong with me. Yep, plus 6.
So roll it with advantage because you have fire, or you're
20
using fire.
plus 6.
Ali's gonna roll a. Oh, very nice.
Arcana,
So, 8
Arcana.
plus 6, so you got 14. So I will say that you deal with like something like 12 to 13 out of the 15 before, even though like despite the fact that you're using a cantrip, which is like almost a non-cost spell, you've used it so much in such a short time period dealing with the 14 out of 15 that you just can't produce anymore. You're too tired.
Okay.
So you end up like coming back to the wagon. There's literally like one of these things left. You guys could roll to deal with it by yourselves. You wouldn't be able to use Ali's fireball, or you can just leave it. It's gonna take ages for it to get back to the point that it was at when you guys got here.
I think.
I
you guys
mean,
say?
what does it hurt to just kill this last one?
Yeah, we've made it this far. Like, might as well.
Okay, but you will lose health about it, right? Because you cannot go in distance. Maybe you can use your bow, right? Better.
I have a yeah. We have some dudes.
Can we do flaming arrows or no? Is that a thing?
Okay, so roll Ali and Brother roll intelligence check for me.
And 12.
Okay, 12 and 14. I'll be generous. I was gonna say if someone got a 15, but it's fine. You figure you could dip the arrows into some of that ale you found, like nasty liquor, and light them on fire, and you would get essentially flaming arrows. You would not be able to retrieve the arrows after you fired them. They'd be destroyed, but they'd be on fire. For
Yeah,
reference, an arrow costs like, you can get like 10, 20 arrows for like a silver. It's not a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, wait. As a woodworker, could I craft some arrows as well?
You would need to get arrowheads, but you can.
Okay. Yeah. I have.
So after this, you could roll for investigation, and you could like try to retrieve arrowheads from the corpse. And then from there, however many you retrieve, you can remake.
Alright, I say we light this plant on fire.
But do you have a longbow or a short bow?
Longbow.
I have a longbow and a crossbow.
Okay.
Okay, so for this, let's do a dex mod for Badr. And Faisal, are you doing it as well? Are you gonna join in?
Do I need to do anything? No, right?
You don't have to.
I guess if it doesn't work out for better, I'll join in. How's that sound?
So I
Okay,
do a
so
dex roll, right,
brother,
Mo?
brother, do it with advantage because Faisal is helping you. Basically, that's how I'll do it.
So I lose one old goblin ale, right?
No. You lose a quarter of one old goblin. You don't use too much of it.
Okay, quarter.
Was that your roll just now, the 2d20?
Yeah.
Okay, so you managed to do it, and you waste that the 9 plus 4 is 13. You lose 7 arrows in the process
Okay.
of dealing with the last one.
Okay.
Do you want to try to get the arrowheads back before you move on, or are you okay with just leaving?
No. Let's just move on, man. My luck in rolls. I'll roll a 1. I like fall in the fire, you know.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so however many arrows you had, take away 7.
All right.
So moving on. So having cleared the road, you spend about like 30-40 minutes. And it's like the sun is like slowly starting to creep up the sky. It's made its way above the tree line now. You're starting to feel some of the heat of the like day. So it's getting a little bit warmer. And you begin your journey again, heading towards the mountain, specifically the valley, with armor tending to the horse and like moving the wagon along. The journey's moving like at a reasonable pace. You spend the majority of the next hour relative like peace, calm, like and quiet. It's like a pleasant journey. There's a nice crisp air, and on that note, could I get a second round of perception checks?
Are we by the mountains, Mo?
You are a couple days of travel from the base of the mountain. So
Okay.
the town you just left, I never really came up with a name for it. I can on the
Is that
spot.
like Kragan
Wait,
Hill?
Mo, are we doing a perception check?
Yes, you're doing a perception check for keeping an eye on the road.
Ooh.
Oh god.
So
I'm here to save the day.
that's like
Nice.
famous last words. Oh, he actually saved the day. Yeah, so from the town you just left from, you're going to the town Cragfall. That's where you're heading to. And you're heading there based on rumors that there's some kind of magical beast. You've run into a lot of agricultural like workers who have left Cragfall essentially, and whenever you ask them why, they say that it's not worth living there, it's not worth farming on the outskirts of the city because something is preying on the people there. So upon hearing that, naturally you were interested and you want to go there to try to make some money, killing whatever this is. So you are about a day and a half at this stage from reaching Cragfall. It's starting to become slowly visible in the horizon. Every time the road takes you up a certain height and you can see past the tree line in the distance, even if it's just through the trees, you're starting to see the first signs, like the big fires that like mount the walls of the city. You're starting to see their location, like in the horizon. But you're still a ways away. Like you won't make it by nightfall. It'll definitely be like one more rest out in the forest at least, and then you'll be able to make it to the city. So looking on the rolls, everyone seems to be like pretty phased out. I mean, it's getting warm. It's kind of like a repetitive, lazy journey. So everyone's like leaning back and phasing out. Only Brother seems to be keeping an eye out, and because the rest of you rolled so poorly, Brother, you only notice when this thing is like right on you, but there is a massive spider, like bigger than the entire wagon, basically coming down a tree, no less than 10 feet away from you. And it looks like it's basically coming at you guys.
I wanna
So
wait.
there's two things you can do here.
Okay.
You can stop, get out of the wagon and engage it, or fight it in the wagon with the wagon stopped, or you can try to run. There are mechanics for chases in the game. So you can try
Uh,
to outrun the spider if you want.
Can I roll an intelligence check to know the spider's abilities or something like wisdom?
Survival check.
Survival check, okay. Nice.
21.
Spoiler.
So being a ranger, like, and being a person specialized in handling like the forest and caring for a forest, giant spiders in the forest are not like something you haven't experienced before. You're actually kind of pissed at yourself that you didn't catch the signs, like the webbing on the road and like some of the like webbing in between the trees, like broken old cobwebs drifting. They're all standard signs that you're like reaching the outskirts of a den of a giant spider. And you know that they have 30-foot movement speed, so they run at the same pace that you do. A horse on a wagon goes at about the same pace as well. So it would be a pretty hard sell trying to outrun it.
All right. Looks like we're fighting it. Do I roll something to see if I can manage to wake everyone up in time? Or is it gonna move like a
So
1v1?
what it would be is now it would be an initiative roll, because if you had rolled as a group higher, I would have given you the element of surprise or the ability to potentially avoid the
Okay.
encounter. But yeah, so now at this point it's just initiative. Everyone rolls initiative.
One second, I gotta see my initiative.
Well, I cannot do any spells anyways, so guys, take care of the spider.
No, you can. Given that like you had some time in the journey and stuff, you would have gotten your spells back. It was like a temporary thing. It wasn't a permanent like debuff.
Alright, guys. What do we want to doopy do?
Let me roll for armor as well. It's initiatives plus.
Man,
And
I'm
I'll roll
just
for this.
sucking on these rolls today.
What happens, man?
Mm.
I'm pretty sure armor got fucked last session. He like didn't roll a single
Not
good
true.
roll.
Always the bad luck. Oh,
So
There he goes.
Yeah, too bad he's not here to see it.
okay, what about the spider?
Then I have to roll a spike. Plus 3. Six.
Oh, nice.
So the spider's like slowly climbing down the tree. Essentially, it's like coming down on a strand of web, really slow. So you guys have enough time to react. Starting with armor, actually. Who came after armor? Was Badr?
Me and Farka have the same role.
Okay. So.
But women make 5 cents on the dollar or whatever, so better you go first.
Oh my god.
I thought you were gonna say I go first because I was the one with the perception check. The one.
Is there a privilege check in this game?
So Badr and Farka, you just roll. You roll at the same time. Your actions are performed at the same time. That's how it always works. So whoever actually takes the turn first, it doesn't really matter. They're just gonna happen at the same time. Also, you can choose to work together on your turn because you're on the same round.
Interesting.
If you roll the same initiative, you can do something in tandem. Come up with an idea.
This is Divinity Origin thing.
What's up?
Imagine something like this in a real game, like like Divinity, when you have you put two players together and like have the same combat.
Yeah, it would be interesting, honestly. I would.
Oh,
play
like
that.
the synergy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Amr goes first. He's going to hop off of the wagon. He's going to use his full movement to run up to the spider while it's coming down. And he's going to roll to attack. So that's 1d20 plus 1. Damn.
Oh man.
5, so he definitely doesn't hit. So he like swings at the spider, and the spider like kind of like weaves sideways or like bobs sideways on the web, and the like axe just like whistles through the air. So that's Armor's turn done. Butter and Frauke, it's your turns. Next.
You know, for a second, I thought you were gonna like turn into a spider and like try and reason with him.
It's actually viable. But actually, from now on, he'll be able to turn into a giant spider. This is the first giant spider he's ever seen.
Yeah, okay.
Technically, because it's not on his list.
Well,
Oh, and he can turn into anything he sees?
Any creature he sees, yeah.
Oh.
I'll write it down for Amar. Amar can see spider. Amar can
Wait, any creature, any beast? Because like if he saw a dragon, could he turn into a dragon?
Yeah, any beast. Sorry, not
Yeah.
creature. I gave him cockatrice because it's fun, but technically he shouldn't be able to turn into that either. Yeah, it's supposed to be beast only. So he misses on his turn. Brother, you're going for... What are you attacking with? Longbow?
No, because you said he's less than 10 feet, which puts my crossbow and longbow out of the question. So
Oh,
I use
right.
my short sword.
So you run in with your short sword and you swing again, and similarly the like spider like bobs on its string. You notice that it's like using its hind legs to like pull on the string and like skew its body to like dodge the blows. So Brother, you end up wasting your turn as well. You use 10 feet of movement. I said 30 feet for Armor, but it's meant to be 10. So you guys can both Brother, you can choose to run back if you want to get out of range again. Or you can stay put.
I'll stay put.
Okay. Frauke, what are you gonna do on your turn?
I think I'm gonna throw one of my javelins at it.
Okay, so go ahead and roll to hit.
You guys remember that TV show Jericho?
It's 1d20 plus 5, right?
No.
No?
Oh, no, I was replying to this.
Oh, you're talking to me. Okay, fine.
Okay.
Is this right size for a javelin, guys? I think so.
So that definitely hits. 20 hits. You can roll.
Plus 3.
Omoiwa Moshinderu. One second. Where did I put it?
5.
Nani?
So you watch as the javelin like sinks into the abdomen. It's got pretty thick armor, but
How does it
with the force of
sink into the abdomen from above?
what do
Like
you
it
mean from
penetrates
above?
it.
It's
Isn't the
coming down a tree.
Oh, the thing is coming down. Ah, yes, good point. Okay.
So yeah, it sinks into the abdomen. Like it manages to crack through the outer carapace of the bug, which is actually reasonably hard. And it doesn't look like it's taken that much damage from the javelin throw, but it's definitely hurt. Like you can see the blood. It just doesn't seem to have reacted to the blow much at all. So Faisal, you're next.
I will. Wait, my short bow's range says 80. Am I
Yeah.
too close?
You're too close.
Too close.
Don't
You can
stand.
use your rapier.
Don't stand so close to me. Okay, I'll use my rapier. are 1d20 plus 6. I hit
16 hits.
und dann 1d8. No wait, yeah, plus 4.
So, Faisal, you like run forward just as this thing is like slowly starting to put its front legs on the ground, and you like kind of take a look at the armor as you're about to thrust your blade forward, and like you look at all the gaps in between the thick kind of plating that makes the exoskeleton of the bug, and you manage to slip right underneath one of the front limbs as it's about to land, and the blade kind of like slips in between the pieces of armor, and you actually hear the spider let out like a kind of weird shriek as like the blade kind of gets into most of its internal organs, and when you pull it out, it's like covered in like this green sort of sticky blood, but the spider is like, it skitters back a few steps in reaction. It seems to have taken like a pretty hard blow.
Oh, poor spider.
Ali, you're next.
Okay, I move.
But now the spider's on the ground?
No, not yet.
Once Ali's turn finishes, it'll reach the ground.
Okay, so I move closer where the spider's gonna land, and use mirror image, and duplicate the 3 illustrations of me.
Oof.
Okay. Do me a favor, roll intimidation with advantage.
Okay, intimidation.
Let's go. 3 little bats beside my doorstep.
So 20. So
3 duplicate.
Ali, Ali runs up and what spell did you use, by the way?
Magic mirror. Mirror image.
Mirror image. Let me make sure you can do 3 duplicates. It's not going to change the outcome, but I just want to know.
3 illustration, illusory,
Yeah,
duplications of yourself appear.
Yourself in your space. So by the time Ali runs up, there's Badr, Faisal, and then 3 Alis pop up next to the spider. And
Yeah, right.
the
Oh wait,
spider
are
like
they
looks...
3 duplicates or 3
Yeah, 3
including Ali?
duplicates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
sorry, 4
4.
Alis pop up. So there's like 6 figures essentially around the spider, and it looks 7 because Amr's there as well, and
Wait,
it looks
Amr
back at
and
Frauke.
Badr are both there too?
Yeah, Amr, Badr, you, and 4 Alis are there.
Oh, we're all close to
So-
the spider now. Okay.
Yeah, you all like closed in on it. So it suddenly looks at like this small army of people that like appeared in front of it, and it starts freaking out. And you, on the spider's turn, it's going to use the entirety of its movement to climb right back up the fucking tree. It like just runs straight the fuck back up, all the way to the top. As it does that, you all get an opportunity attack. So everyone roll for your melee attack whilst it's skittering away.
A melee attack? Do I have to have a melee attack?
We have to do a chance to hit first, right?
I'll allow you to use a cantrip, Ali.
Okay.
You can use Firebolt, for example, or
No, I
any
don't
other
think
damage.
chance to hit. Just straight damage.
No, you do chance to hit. You do chance to hit in case
Okay.
it dodges. Basically, whenever enemy leaves your space, you get an opportunity to hit it. It's called an attack of opportunity. Because it's distracted with trying to run away, it doesn't actually have a chance to defend itself if you go for a strike. So
Frauke, you didn't
all
roll
of them
chance
hit.
to hit.
But I'm not
Frauke's
close.
next to it.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
not close?
So yeah, so it's Faisal, Ali, Butler, and then I have to roll for onward. All of you guys hit though, so roll for your damage. Alma hits as well. So, wow, this thing's probably gonna die. 8 plus 9.
29.
12.
We all rolled really good.
You guys did exactly enough damage to kill it.
Nice.
So,
Wow, it had that much HP?
Damn.
Yeah, it did. It was a really big spider, dude.
Yeah, can't you guys tell like how big this thing is? It's not-
So basically, this thing starts like trying to run away, and with its back turned, first Ali like comes in and like casts a firebolt, and then Faisal's like rapier like slips right in between the fucking abdomen armor, and then Armor's hand axe buries itself in, and Butter's short sword buries itself in, and slowly like you guys have to like run out of the way as this thing falls off the tree and just like collapse on the ground. So now that there's a corpse in front of you, you have some options. Since you have an alchemist in the party, you can actually either you can attempt to extract the poison from the spider, and you can attempt to just add to your inventory like 5 vials. I'll give you 5 free vials, and you can try to extract any kind of venom from the spider. If anyone wants to take anything else for crafting reasons,
And what
let
do I
me
have to
know.
roll for?
Well, can I craft? Can I
so
craft anything? No.
I can let you guys craft if you want. I mean, in my main campaigns, I have crafting systems in place. I didn't do anything for this because I didn't know if anyone would want to craft. But if someone wants to craft, like, I can set it up.
How does it work exactly?
So you would salvage the carcass for parts, and then based on the roll, you would get certain useful parts, and then you would have to you'd have to specialize in a discipline. And if the parts were useful for anything in the discipline, you would be able to create a weapon. Or anything you want, really.
Okay. How about we just
what-
save that for the main campaign?
Yeah, sure.
Now,
That's
what
why
do I
I
roll,
left
what do I
it. It's a
roll for
little
the
complex.
poison extraction?
So sleight of hand would be what it is.
Light of hand.
Well, please tell me if he rolls like a 1, he like accidentally drinks the poison or something.
If he rolls a 1, he'll cut himself and become poisoned.
Oh, nice.
So 17. So you guys all watch as like Ali like pulls open the mouth of this spider and like reaches in behind the fangs with like a dagger from Faisal or whoever he borrows the dagger from, and he like carefully he cuts one of the poison sacs out of the back of the mouth of the spider. When you go for the second one, it bursts. You don't get like covered or anything, but you're unable to retrieve it. But you get one, and over the course of like the remainder of the 20-minute break, you slowly like manage to drain out the sac of poison, and you manage to get 2 vials of poison. And what these vials do is, if you coat any weapon with this, or any like blade or point of an arrow or something, you have the potential to do 1d4 plus 1 damage on the ability.
1d4 plus?
Sorry, just 1d4, not plus 1. So it's a weak poison, so 1d4.
Alright.
And
Could we
2
use
vials.
the poison for stealth missions as well?
It's too weak to put into food. It'll only do 1d4 damage. If you
Okay.
wanted something to kill someone, you'd need something that does like at least 15 to 20 HP, potentially, so that they would die from the
I feel
poison.
like Beda's just looking for ways to kill us.
I mean,
Okay,
hey,
so
Ali has all the poison, so
True.
so with the giant spider dealt with, you notice that the webs actually spread for quite a long time. It takes about 10 minutes of travel on wagon to get out of the webs. Whatever the spider was, it was big. It was big, and it was like it was an alpha predator in the food chain here. Like, its domain stretches really far within the forest, and it just happened to cross over with the road at that point in time. Yeah, so basically, you guys make your way down the road, and the rest of the day passes with pretty like standard stuff. Like, there's just endless road, wagon, horse, stopping every now and again to give a horse rest. You use your like rations to make a meal in between. And as nightfall starts to slowly creep in, you get to a point of elevation and you notice you're like a half day, just over a half day's travel from um, the city of Cragfall. Like you've made good ground, and the forest is starting to change a little bit. You're noticing that as you get closer to the mountain, the trees have changed. They're becoming more like pines and that kind of like trees that thrive in the cold.
Alpine ecoregion.
Yeah, like
Uh,
alpine biome.
Um,
Just one second, guys.
1 sec, guys. But Ali, is the venom in the vials now, or?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot
we
to
have the
mention.
poison.
So, did I mention you fill like 2 vials with the
Yeah.
venom?
Yeah, yeah.
I still got
Okay.
3 vials open.
Okay, so you make your way through the like sort of like alpine biome. You notice with the elevation of the hill that in the distance you start to see a little bit of snowfall, like just a slight like sprinkling of snow. The air is definitely starting to get colder, in part because you're close to the mountains, and in part because the sun is starting to set. You guys are getting tired. It's been a long day of traveling. You've run into a decent amount of um,
Adventure.
decent amount of adventure, and you're starting to think about like winding down. Could I get a perception check from everybody? One more. As you reach the top of this hill, or as you start surveying the top of this hill.
Okay.
I did it twice.
Wait, how do I perception?
13 is the check. Yeah, but why did it do twice?
It's probably a different roll. I think that's for the venom or whatever.
Okay, true, yeah.
Yeah. 16, 13, 4, 7, 5. I'll roll for honor, I guess. What's his perception?
Our perception is 3.
3?
Yeah.
Mo, so the terrain now is mountain, right?
Base of a mountain. Yeah, you've made it to like effectively the base of the mountain. So from here, things are starting to look like a slight incline. There's a little bit more of like flat ground, but then you're slowly going to start going on an incline. Ali,
Yeah.
you barely notice it. You can't actually tell what the nature of the building is. You didn't roll high enough for that, and you're the only one who sees it. But you see, like 20 or so, not 20, maybe more like 10 miles or so from the path that you guys are taking that goes straight to Cragfall. So a little bit of an offshoot. There's some kind of ruins. You can only barely see it in the like fading sort of like twilight of the night. The moon is just about to come up. It's the last few like minutes of sun, and you notice like in that sort of like half darkness, in the distance amongst the trees, some kind of stone structure. It doesn't look to be in perfect condition. It's nowhere near in perfect condition, actually. It's completely falling apart, but there's something there if you guys choose to explore it. Otherwise, you can continue without the detour, and you will make it to Cragfall in half a day.
How about we go rest in this ruins? And
What? In what? Rest
Yeah,
in the ruins.
yeah, like if there's any danger, we could hunt it down and just rest there. It's a good spot, you know.
Why
We have
don't we
water.
just rest here and go to the ruins tomorrow?
Could be an option. How about look? I have a plan. It's getting colder. Okay. How about you guys go farm us some some wool so we can, or not wool, we call it like hides so we can get warm.
Hides.
Yeah.
You would have
And-
in your traveling supplies, like you would have been equipped for cold weather. So you would be able to survive the elements. You'd have like basic tents and
Do you guys
like
like my ruins, by the way?
Yeah. So
very
you guys don't
nice.
want to go at night to the ruins, right?
I think that's a bad idea.
Yeah, and it's if you
I
like
think when the
looking at
DM
it
says
from,
yeah, I think
I mean, it's not that it's the ruins are a bad idea, but you would spend a majority of the night traveling there. It's something that you would have to like actively go towards, you know? It's 10 miles from the road, but it's not 10 miles from where you are.
mm.
So it's like a detour halfway through the journey tomorrow, if you want to do it, for example.
Okay, so yeah, I'd say it's better to rest up, I guess, than just...
Okay.
So everyone roll a survival check for me, just to find a good place to rest.
Survival, survival, I love you tomorrow, it's always a
Man,
day away.
League of Legends has ruined me, dude. I saw Sir and I just thought surrender. Really, I got that burst of like toxic rage, like only surrender.
Sir at 20.
Okay, so Butter and Frauke take the lead at the top of the hill. You guys notice like an alcove, like just about, let's say 200 meters or so to the left. So quite close to the road if you need to make a quick kind of getaway for any reason. And there's like a bunch of like large rocks in a sort of circle-ish outcropping and a clearing in between them. So there's like nice cover. The rocks provide some kind of windbreak. It's like a good space to set up for the night. So you slowly take the wagon hitched to the side of the road. You bring the horse with you, spend like just a 5 minute, 6 minute walk, like getting with the horse to the alcove, and then slowly like set up the night for the long rest. And everybody like lays down, the tents have been set up, you get a fire going. Dinner is being cooked. Ali specifically, can I get a perception check from you?
Sure. Five or three? Three.
Okay. So okay, so as the night goes on, actually everybody else roll perception as well. I think that's only fair since you're all in the same space.
Rip.
Okay. So the night goes on as per normal. You notice that like Faisal takes like 5 minutes to go take a piss.
I
Only
actually
one
do
of you
need to take a
notices
piss
that.
in real life as well. Wow. 1 second, I'll be right
Ali,
back.
Ali, you notice that Faisal goes for 5 minutes to take a piss, but that's like the only thing that happens. The rest of the night continues with no issue, and it comes to time to like set up the watch.
Can I go search for herbs before we do the wash?
Yeah, you
Will
can.
herbs grow in this climate, my friend?
Actually, so the way that I have worked health potions is you'll be able to make them wherever you go. There are different herbs in different areas for different benefits. So you would use one herb in one area, and then you'd get the equivalent effect from a different herb in a different area. It's just a matter of finding it. So if you roll a survival or investigation, you can start searching for herbs. Okay, so you spend like a good 20 minutes pacing around the campsite, not straying too far from the fire. You want to be able to make your way back with ease in case something goes wrong. For like 15-20 minutes you have your like nose on the ground basically, but you don't really find anything. Like Badr was saying, it's a cold climate. There are herbs present, and you know from your alchemical experience that you could get herbs that would help you in making at least health potions, but you don't seem to be able to find any, in part because of how dark it is, and also in part because it's cold and it's hard to grow things here, or hard for things to grow.
Okay. Then I head back.
So, uh, one second. Just a second, guys. Okay, so by the time you come back from gathering herbs, Faisal's back. He's like chilling. He's in the camp. He's chilling out. Okay, so let's set up the watch for tonight. Who's going first?
I think I'll go first.
Adi, you're going first?
Mhm.
Okay, so roll perception for me while everybody else sleeps. Okay, Adi, you keep a pretty, like, with the events of, like, yesterday, the giant spider, everything, like, you keep a pretty close eye out. You have an understanding of how dangerous this area of the forest can be, and you sit up by the rock, like, you change rocks a few times as the wind changes directions, just trying to keep it off your back, stay warm. But over the course of the night, it's quiet, there's nothing. As your watch comes to an end and you come to wake up, whoever's taking over, finally able to go to sleep, nothing's happened, nothing's changed. The campsite is as it was. Okay, who's next?
I'll go next.
Okay, Frauke,
Again?
you lay down against the rock.
Oh my
to,
god,
like,
fuck.
keep watch. You
Cut your own eyes
the
out,
wind
like.
is the wind is on your back. The fire is like crackling smoothly, and there's like waves of heat like hitting your body, and you get that like wool blanket, you like get it over your whole body. Those like light dustings of snow, but you're feeling quite warm, and the next thing you know, you're asleep. Who's next in the watch?
I'll go next.
Wait, guys, turn up groovy, turn up the music. I added a new song. It's just the
Nice.
sound of a fireplace. Nice, right?
Sleepy music. Wait, do I roll perception again, or?
Yeah, you roll perception again.
Cold night.
This is
Okay,
actually
so
gonna make me
Brother-
fall asleep.
This is so cozy,
Brother,
right?
I'm
You
rolling,
wake up.
but I'm sleeping.
Brother, you wake up because Frauke like slips off the fucking rock and like her armor hitting the ground like makes a clanging noise. You wake up and you're like, oh shit, she was meant to be keeping watch and she passed the fuck out. So you decide to just keep watch yourself. And like you go out, you spend the night. It's like fucking quiet. There's nothing that happens. You just hear the wind constantly for like a couple of hours, and eventually your night comes to an end. Okay, Faisal,
Yo,
you're one left.
I'm up.
I
Alright,
go make
perception
face
check.
up and then I sleep.
Am I perceptioning?
Yeah, perception.
Perception. 2. Go.
Okay,
1d20 plus 2.
okay, so we're coming
I'm
up on
also
something that we're coming up on something that's like important for D&D. So I'm about to explain for Faisal's benefit something that the rest of you rolled too poorly to see. So in character, you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But outside of character, because we're playing a game, you get that information. So just remember to not act on it in character, because you don't know.
Uh-huh.
Basically, Faisal, while everybody's asleep, you take the 2 vials of poison you stole from Ali.
Yeah.
You start like walking around the camp. You do the worst job of keeping watch because you're completely focused on trying to slip them into Budder's bag. And he keeps like rolling in his sleep and like taking the bag with him. And like fucking you spend like your whole watch and finally right at the end you manage to slip them in his bag. Like completely worked, completely sealed. Budder has no idea. He's still asleep. Ali has no idea the vials are even missing. By the way, Ali, take the 2 vials out. Budder, add the 2 vials to your inventory.
Nice.
I did some secret rolls for that one, boys. So yeah, Ali. Later, when it comes out to be that he has your vials, you're not allowed to immediately think it's me.
I know. I
Okay.
figured it out.
Cool.
Yeah, so when it comes down to it, Budder will basically be rolling persuasion to try to persuade Ali that he didn't do it if there's a confrontation. And then Ali will be rolling insight to try to like see if he's telling the truth or not.
Got it.
Okay, so with that done, Faisal, like you literally return back to your seat. You're already awake, you've slept enough, and as you return back to your seat, Budder, feeling the bag like getting jostled a bit, wakes up. He like looks at the bag, doesn't notice anything, and he just like gets to his business, waking up in the morning. And slowly, like Frauke, Ali, Anwar, they all start getting up. Like some breakfast is being made on the fire. Things return to normal. The horse is also starting to get up. You notice that like sunrise is starting to come up, and the dew is sort of like, despite the sun coming up, you're noticing that like the dew is like frozen on the leaves. There's small beads of frozen water on all the leaves. It's still a cold day. You guys are just not really feeling it in the warmth of your campsite and the like kind of enclosed space that the rocks create. All of your like traveling gear. So, is there anything that anybody wants to do real quickly in the morning before we head out, or do you guys want to get back onto the journey?
I would like to. I don't know.
I would like to look if I can combine these 2 poison jars and make them bigger to make a effective poison.
More potent poison?
Yeah.
Like concentrate?
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, roll an investigation check.
Investigation. Okay. Oh wait, what happened?
Is that not working? Does this work? So 13. So you notice immediately somebody has been in your bag. Like things are not where they used to be. And you spend like 5-6 minutes searching through everything, opening all the pouches, like thinking like, did I put this somewhere stupid? And you can't find it. It's gone. And based on the fact of like how fucked up your bag was, like someone had rooted through it, someone's taken your poison. You don't know who it is, but somebody has taken it.
Okay, I got mad and yelling around. Who took my poison? Who has been in my bag?
Wasn't me.
Okay, are you saying it wasn't you, Faisal?
Yeah, I was saying it wasn't me.
Okay, roll persuasion.
Uh.
Ali roll insight.
Insight, alright.
I hope you don't have a high insight. You can't.
I got +4 insight.
Let's see, plus. I have +4 persuasion as well. Oh no.
1, 2,
Go.
3. No, you
So Ali, you have this moment where you just stare at Faisal, and for a second you're like, this guy's full of shit. It was definitely him. And then you like look at him and you're like, nah, it wasn't me, dude.
Okay. I then asked everyone around who has my veils of poison.
Oh my god. That was intense.
I go then to the group and asking everyone, show me please your bags.
Okay, do you guys show him your bags?
I don't show my bag. I find it insulting. Insulting. You would ask such a thing.
I'll show you my bag.
Okay, Ali, you searched Frauke's bag. It's empty. There's nothing in there. She didn't steal them.
Okay, what about Umar?
You search Amar's bag as well. It's empty. There's nothing in there. Amar lets you search it. You don't bother searching Faisal's bag because you believe him.
Yeah.
And Badr is the only one who isn't letting you search his bag from everyone you've asked, and he won't say why. He's just saying that he thinks that it's rude that you would even ask.
Come on, dude. What do you do? Is there a way to
I go and
intimidate?
I go to insist, to show it.
Ali, intimidate.
Okay,
intimidate.
roll a persuasion to try and open my bag.
All right.
Okay, you can either try to persuade him or you can try to intimidate him. It's up to you.
Yeah,
I'll go
look which one has the better roll, huh?
Okay, wait.
I
Persuasion.
should have fuck him, dude.
Both of
And what, do I roll one as well, Mo?
You roll insight.
Insight, okay.
Oh, destroyed, Ali.
Okay, which one was it, Ali?
The 6th.
Well, no, which one? Persuasion or intimidation?
Persuasion.
No, you're
Persuasion?
Okay.
Bro, okay, so Ali tries to like sweet talk Badr into showing him the bag, and Badr just like takes a look at him and just like grabs the horse and starts walking to the wagon. He doesn't give a fuck, dude. He just starts walking away. He just shuts you down, like right there. Conversation's over, bro. He's done.
Oh man. No,
So
but
now
the thing
nothing.
is, wait, hold
Badr
up.
has the vials.
Mo, though, wait, what? But this is because Bedr knows he's been planted, like that I planted them in his bag. But
It's so.
No, I
it
think
could
regardless.
potentially, from the perspective of Badr, it's like you can't say that for sure. His character could just be the kind of character where they would get pissed if you asked them to search.
Yeah, I think even the character, it's like I know for a fact I didn't steal it, so I'm okay with just moving on. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Why am I under suspicion? This guy obviously like misplaced his own vials. Like it's not on me. Like it's a viable standpoint. You see my point?
I understand, of course, but isn't like there's no way to have done this where he would not have like if I do something like this in the future, they always know I've done it in real life.
Generally speaking, like if we set up if you make a separate call called a whisper call, or like a voice channel called whisper,
Yeah.
you can ask me to go into a whisper and then we can talk about things. That's another way of doing it. I generally let the party know because I like to trust the players to just, it's more entertaining if everybody knows what you did, you know what I mean? And like, I like to trust the players to just not metagame. But realistically, like even if Badr didn't know and Ali started asking for everybody to check their bags, like you can for sure say that Badr wouldn't have said like, I don't want you to search my bag.
No, no, I understand, and so in that sense it is defendable. But I know better, and I get the suspicion he is metagaming. I feel like he's metagaming. Honestly, I see no reason why he'd say like, "Oh no, don't check my bag." But
who knows? His character.
I have private belongings in my bag.
I can see the smile on Bedr's face from Germany, man. Like I know he's fucking. But fine.
I mean, okay, so when we have well-defined characters, this is not a problem because I can then call you out. Like, if your character is normally an open person and a situation like this arises, I can say you're metagaming because I have a good understanding of who your characters are. For now, I'd say it's probably better to just let it go because there's no characters, there's no like anything. It's pretty loose.
My
It's more
character,
of, like,
my character's calling Bedr's character a dumb ranger who is a thief.
Yeah,
Okay,
wait,
but
by
then
the way,
this is what happens. I'll tell you what happens. Okay, as I'm walking to the wagon, I check in my bag and I find the poison vials, and then I go back to Ali
Don't you
and
have
give
to
it
roll
to.
investigation for that?
No, it's his
I mean,
bag, dude. Like,
It's
Ah,
my
fuck.
bag. Yeah, there's nothing to investigate.
I only made Ali roll for it because they're actually missing. So I wanted to see how much he saw. Because if he rolled poorly, he wouldn't have even known they'd be stolen. He would have thought like I dropped them.
Okay. And okay, and if let's say Bedr sees them in his bag and decides not to give them to Ali, can there be like a reputation change between us in-game characters? Like Ali thinks like
So
trusts me
that's
more, trusts Bedr less, something like that.
that's on your. That's basically like there's no mechanic for that. That you as players need to keep that shit in mind. So you would know who your character is and how they would react to something like that. Like if you
Okay.
have a particularly like vengeance and vindicative driven like character, you would probably hold that against Badr permanently. It would become like a thing that came up constantly, like you fucking
Yeah.
stole my vials. Like, but if you were more of like a chilled out character, like it's conceivable that you just let it go and you're like, all right, whatever, or like try to get him back or something.
Okay. Okay, I'd say for this reason, when we get into the long one, will you try to get us to really define our characters?
Yeah, so that's what I think I mentioned it when you were gone maybe, but
Hmm.
when you start your
Yeah,
level
you
1
did.
characters, I have like a questionnaire that you can fill through. It'll like really help you emotionally, like figure out the emotional space of where your character is.
Okay, that's cool. Cool.
I spend a lot of time basically. Like usually it takes like 4 hours, 5 hours out of game with each player trying to figure out exactly who their character is. So
Alright.
you'll know for sure. Okay. So we'll continue back on the road, I guess.
Mhm.
We have time, right? We have an hour still.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, okay, so
Ali, be sure to add the vials to your inventory.
As we give it back to them.
Wait,
yeah,
but aren't you
so
guys gonna have a conversation about that real quick? Like,
No,
Well-
because I think Ali's smart enough to realize that, like, oh,
okay, Ali, roll insight. Roll insight. We'll let the dice decide how Ali feels
Yeah.
about this.
honestly, I think he should as well. And then you might need to persuade him better if insight doesn't work.
So
Motherfucker.
Ali, you're on the fence, bro. Like it's not like you're looking in his eyes, and he's giving you the. It just doesn't make sense that if he stole them, he would now, after getting away with it, turn around and give them back to you. But at the same time, they were in his fucking bag. Like who else could it have been?
Yeah.
Badr, if you want, you can try to roll persuasion, and like if you roll higher than 10, don't convince him.
The situation got
So-
worse.
Ali takes the vials, but you guys are not cool. Like the situation will be remembered. Like
Yes.
we got back.
I
We got back.
wrecked this man. Oh god.
Based on spreading fitna, you know.
I'm okay. At the beginning, I was like, "Man, playing Thief's kind of boring," and now I'm feeling this. Quick question: if I had tried and failed to steal something, would they also find out?
yeah, so if they had rolled a higher perception than your sneak, whoever rolled a higher perception than you would have seen you.
Okay.
And if you'd rolled lower than 10, you would have failed outright because 10 is the passive perception for everybody. So
Cool. Okay. By the way, my sneak was so low, guys. You have no idea. I think I beat you guys all by like 1 point. And then-
yeah, literally one.
Yeah, and then when it was about planting in Bedr, I think I rolled a natural 20 or something. It was amazing.
Okay, so you guys make it back to the wagon. The air is like a little bit tense. Ali's like kind of pissed off. Like someone stole his fucking vials. He wasted the 20 minutes in the morning where he wanted to be making a more potent poison, fucking finding the poison. And yeah, so there's like a little bit of salt in the wagon as you guys start your journey again. A little bit
I'm
of
amazed.
beef.
I already have distrust to thieves. Now I even more.
And okay, Ali, so as the wagon starts rolling again, you remember the ruins you saw. Are you going to explain to everybody or like ask, or are you just going to keep it to yourself and let the
No,
party
I'm
like
gonna, I'm
go?
gonna ask. I'm gonna say I saw the runes, and I'm gonna ask if you guys want to like investigate these runes. Alright,
Yeah.
so guys,
I'm down.
I saw these ruins far away. I'm not quite sure how they look, but from far, they kind of look interesting. What do you guys think if we just venture from our main goal and try investigate? Maybe you find a treasure inside there.
Aren't you worried it might ruin our adventure? No. Yeah, sure. I'm down. Let's do it.
What about you guys?
It's like half a day journey, right?
Yeah, we'll be
Yeah.
only half day later to our.
Wait,
So,
is this the ruins? Are they in the mountains?
no, so it's within the forest, and when you guys get back up to the hill where Ali saw them, he like points them out, and you guys all get a good look. In the morning, I'll say you guys see a little bit more detail of what you're actually heading to. It looks like an old castle, like a very old castle, that at one point would have been quite a like secure fortress, but the walls have collapsed in their entirety, and the main fortress portion, so the actual like castle portion, the parapets and all of that, they're also crumbling. All of the above ground levels have collapsed, but there might be something subterranean, like within the actual
Like a
remnants of the castle.
dungeon.
Yeah,
What style of
Uh,
architecture?
it's like so within the world, it would be dwarven architecture.
Hmm.
To relate that to like modern sort or like real world kind of architecture, you're looking at something that is like I'm not good with fucking castles, bro. But like if you go to any like very ornate old European castle, like really well made, they put a lot of effort into the visual aspects and it's very strong. It's
Would this
that
work?
kind of yeah, it's like a good general idea of the kind of thing you're looking at. It's less of a mountain passageway, but yeah, it's in the forest and you have that kind of so yeah, you can kind of see the ruins of like a old ancient kind of castle from an old civilization. By the looks of it, it doesn't look to be like there was any sort of society around the castle. It's not like a keep with a whole town encompassed in it. It looks like some kind of barracks, like they probably had soldiers holding the line here somewhere as some kind of border defense or something.
Okay.
Nevertheless, yeah, you would need to leave the wagon on the side of the road, like
I think this one looks better.
like
What do
a
you
couple
think?
hours of. Yeah, I think that's more the vibe as well, in the middle of the forest and shit. Um, yeah, so you would need to leave your wagon hitched on the side of the road, and you'd need to walk for a couple of hours to get there,
Can we
and
leave
then
Ahmed
walk
to
back.
watch the wagon?
Sorry?
Can we leave Ahmed to watch the wagon?
Dude,
Wagon.
no one steals wagons, bro. Like, if you take the horse with you as well, no one's gonna steal the wagon.
Oh, okay,
Like,
good.
and generally speaking, I won't, just because it's fucking garbage gameplay if you guys leave the wagon behind and it gets stolen to like the
Yeah.
other side.
Yeah, and
Okay.
to have to
Uh,
like do this micromanagement of your wagon.
Yeah, it's not worth the hassle, man. It's
Yeah.
better to just like say no one steals it.
Okay, good.
I think we
So
should
yeah,
go.
Yeah, I like to investigate the castle because it will help my research.
okay.
Let's do it.
So
All right, let's go.
you slowly make your way down the hill again. Amr takes like a lot of care to manage the horse, make sure it doesn't like overpace itself as you go downhill, kind of reining it back, and slowly but surely, like you take a kind of bumpy, kind of a little too fast wagon journey down the like
Lonely
what do I say?
road.
Down the hill that you were using to view. More of like it's more than a hill. I can't remember the actual term, but it's like taller than a hill, but not a mountain. Anyway, you make your way down to the base, and you're like back in the thick of the trees. It's cold. It's significantly colder. It's been about an hour. We'll time skip to about an hour. That's how long it takes to get from where you guys were camping, like the bottom to lowest point of the hill. So it's like a slow, gradual decline. And as you make the base, like it's cold. You're starting to feel the brisk, like mountain air in its true like strength. There's like gusts of wind coming down. You find that one by one, all of you are like reaching into your bags, you're pulling out your gear for like colder weather, putting on like some furs and stuff. Frauke, you like take off your heavy metal armor and you like stuff furs inside, put it back on, and yeah, eventually you make it. You start to notice the snow thickening a little bit, and your pace starts to slow down. You notice that
Wait,
this
there's
last leg of the
snow
journey.
now? I'm confused. Are we in the forest with snow?
Yes.
Yeah, you're in an alpine like forest at this point.
Okay.
So just before you made it up the big hill that you camped at, you started to see signs of snow. And now that you've made it onto the other side, about an hour's journey, the snow is getting thicker and thicker as you get towards the base of the mountain. And the weather's been cold for a while, so it makes sense. Like you're getting colder as you get closer to the mountain. And yeah, so you make your way through the snow. The thickness of the snow is starting to impede the movement of the horse and the wagon. And the journey is starting to slow down. For the most part, it's quiet. There's no sounds of any creatures. There's no visuals in the horizon. You just see like endless plains of white and barked trees like coming up between the snow. And yeah, you make your way. The first half of the journey is easy. It's slow, but it's easy. And eventually you make it side of the road. Ali, you realize that this is probably a good point to drop the wagon off. It's a good point to leave the wagon and start heading on foot towards the ruins. So you leave the wagon behind, Amr taking the horse by hand just to make sure the horse doesn't get spooked. Take the wagons with it somewhere. You start to head towards the castle, and you walk for a while. The progress of your journey is a lot slower because you're not using any mode of transport other than your own feet at this point. And slowly you like walk through. You see a couple of like white-furred like alpine squirrels, the occasional fox, like white rabbits, like general forest life that would survive in a cold environment like this. And as you go in further, 1 hour starting to slowly turn into 2 hours of walking, you notice like a large frozen lake, like a body of water that's like expansive. It was a little difficult to see. You noticed the clearing for the water at the top of the hill, but the water itself wasn't that visible inside the tree line. But it's a sizable body of water. There doesn't seem to be any kind of civilization around it or anything, and there's no wildlife or anything either because it's completely frozen over. As you turn away from the lake and you start like looking, you notice the castle and you start to see it in its like true form, or whatever's left of it. You notice the walls are like 3-4 stories high. There's like pillars that are sort of cracked and more ornate pillars than serving any kind of function in terms of holding the wall up. There seems to be like the wall is built into the ground quite sturdily. Despite collapsing in various areas, as you get closer, you can see that the nature of the collapse it wasn't erosion. Something has actually destroyed these walls, either recently or in the past, a long time ago, based on like the moss and like sort of general like plant growth that seems to have overcome the actual castle ruin. You can tell that it's existed for a long time, but the extent of the damage and when it happened is very difficult to ascertain. If anyone wants to actually try to figure that out, that's an investigation check. If you want to see when the castle was destroyed.
Let's do it. Because if it's recent, then we know it's the magical beast.
Okay, so let's see. They got 7.
Look at that! I made ice ruins. Oh.
Yeah, I saw.
Much better.
Saw you flesh it out. It's good.
Okay, 19. Yeah, I'm gonna take a piss. I'll be back.
No trouble.
Faisal, don't forget to roll.
Oh, investigation?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dumb fuck.
Sherlock Holmes, I am not. May I, guys? Okay, looks like we're at the top of Pixel Mountain. It's not particularly.
No, but the ruins look good.
Yeah, I think so. Can you believe Bedr stole your shit, Ali? It's crazy.
Yeah, I
Unbelievable.
can't believe.
Unbelievable.
But he gave it back, so I might forgive him.
No,
But
no,
I'm
no.
still-
We did the rolls. The rolls said no. No forgiveness.
Okay. The persuasion was bad.
Ja, so ist es.
Did you do it in a secret rolls to
Yeah,
deal?
yeah. I didn't want anyone knowing about it. So I asked Faki in private chat, like, hey, can I steal this from Ali? And he was like, do a stealth roll and I will do it. And I was like, okay. And then later I was like, wait, can I plant it on Bedr? And he said, yeah, okay, do a sleight of hand roll. And I said, okay. And I got 26 on the sleight of hand roll. It was insane.
So when you steal from me, this is why my bag looked bad. But when you plant in this bag, it looked like nothing.
I suppose no, but when I stole from you, it wasn't very sneaky. Honestly, it didn't look so good. But you guys didn't beat me, which was hilarious, by the way. Me and Mo could not like hold in our laughter, especially because Ali, I beat you, right? And then Mo was like, you know what? We'll make it fair. Let's have everybody roll perception, and you all rolled lower than me. If any of you did roll higher, I would have gotten fucked. What are we rolling now? Perception?
Investigation.
Investigation.
Investigation. Sorry, did I roll already?
Yeah, you rolled.
Oh, okay.
Got a 5.
But yeah, Mo really tried to fuck me on that one, because at the beginning he was like, I'll have Ali roll perception, and then he was like, okay, you know what? Everybody roll perception. After we'd
to be
already
fair
started.
though, I wouldn't have like said the game is up if someone rolled. I would have given them the choice. If like Frauke or fucking Badr had noticed, I would have asked them essentially, like, it's up to you. You see Faisal doing this, do you want to stop him or like tell Ali, or do you want to just let it happen?
That's cool. Okay.
And okay, so based on your rolls, Badr, you're the only one who can sort of piece it together. You start taking a look at some of the rocks on the ground, like the broken rubble from the walls and broken rubble from the like castle walls as well as the external walls, and you notice that so there's plant growth on the outer face of each of the walls, right? But when you look at the rubble, the broken chunks, the actual cracked areas, they have no plant growth. So they have been very freshly broken. And as you like start to like kind of explore a little bit, kind of keeping quiet, moving in slightly ahead of the group, you notice that past the broken walls and in the courtyard, there's a massive burrow. Like something has dug
There's a massive
deep.
what?
Burrow, like a hole, like a
Ah,
something
okay.
big has buried a giant or dug a giant hole right underneath the castle. And looking around the edges of the hole, there's like a lot of loosely packed dirt, but you also see like rock, like old dirt covered rock. So it's broken through the foundation at a certain point, and it seems to be within the basement level of the castle, whatever it is. If you want the dimensions, give me a second and I'll tell you how big the hole is.
Alright. I'm guessing it's a magical evil worm, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
worm.
Could be, honestly.
If you'd rolled higher than a 15, I would have told you exactly what it was, but got a 13.
For what?
For survival, because you were looking at the tracks basically for that. Okay, so it's. Let me just take a look. This thing is. God damn it, dude! Why is it so hard to find? Here we go. It's 15 feet by 15 feet, basically the hole, or rather 20 feet by 20 feet, the hole itself. So it's a big hole. Like it takes up a portion of the castle wall, and like your whole party could stand side by side and walk through it.
And it's right at the foot of the castle entrance, or what?
So when you get past the outer wall that's been broken down, there's like a semi-large courtyard, like 70, 80 feet of courtyard.
Yeah.
And then the actual castle is in the middle, right? So in what was the question again? Let me rephrase. I confused myself.
Is it like at the foot of the castle entrance, or where is it?
So there's no castle entrance. The outer walls are broken, and the upper levels, so anything above ground on the castle, is ruins. So there's like two walls that are still standing. The rest of it's all crumbled.
Okay.
Over time. And what you are seeing is like the most structurally, or the least structurally sound wall, right? The one which is like has rocks left standing for like maybe more, like just under 10 feet high. It's like barely stood up anymore.
Mm-hmm.
There's a massive burrow by it, like a huge 20 by 20 foot like hole in the ground that kind of goes at a small incline and goes into the basement.
So kind of like what I've got drawn here.
Could I roll for perception and throw a rock down there and listen carefully to see if it's like a hole or a tunnel, stuff like that?
Okay, before you do that, roll intelligence.
How is that, Mo, for a hole in the ground?
Yeah, it's pretty good. That's like a decent. You can. Okay, so if you're trying to see how deep the hole is that what you're trying to figure out?
Yeah.
Because Butter was gonna throw something.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Butter was trying to figure out, I think.
Okay, then just roll perception. You don't have to like throw a rock.
Also, out of interest, does anybody here know what the formula would be to figure out the depth of a hole by counting the seconds?
You have to know the speed.
No, better. Ali, it's not fair. You and I study engineering. They're non-engineers.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Come on.
The test.
Faisal, can you kick Avre and join it again? It's just glitching out.
How do I kick it?
I can kick.
Kick Avre? Okay, kick.
No,
and then I have to find Avre again.
And then just add it to the channel.
I have to go to the website then and shit. Invite link. Oh my god, I have to log in with the QR code on Discord. Kill me.
Did you find it?
Yeah, I'm on. I'm gonna re-invite it. Give me a sec, bro. Guys, how can nobody know that song? You 100% know the song.
Guys, I'm AFK for a while. 1 second.
For a while? Excuse me. Scan QR code. Okay, whips and chains. So, I have re-invited her. I believe she will be an asset to the team, yeah?
Perception, right?
Yeah, just the perception. 10. It's enough. It's just a hole. It doesn't go down that long, that deep. It's like 10 feet deep, and it's not like straight down. It's at an incline. Whatever this is, it's like a entrance an exit to some kind of like, with your experience in like the forest, you'd know it's like a nest essentially. They've taken this ruin as a nest, whatever this creature is, and they've burrowed like just to the first floor underneath the ground essentially.
Okay, guys, I say we jump in.
I'm down.
And don't worry, I
Okay,
have
so
tools.
if-
We can easily climb out. It's only like what, 10 feet?
Do
oh,
you
it's not
have a
straight down,
tool?
bro. It's like at an incline. You could literally
Oh.
climb back out. Like,
Oh,
It would-
okay.
yeah, it would just require like some time. Like if you were under pressure, I'd make you roll to climb out, but
All right.
it's not
sounds good.
impossible.
What do you guys think?
So it's more like that. Kinda. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Sounds good.
All right, guys, we'll give it.
Should we have someone go investigate and like?
Ali, we can go down and then climb back up. No problem.
Oh,
Yeah, so how you play this depends on depending on how you play this, there's different roles. So you can either like storm the place and like go in hot, or you
But
can
do
send
you want to
somebody
send me in to scout
like
again?
explore.
I can stealth my way in,
It's up
guys.
to you.
That would
or I
be.
can make it visible.
I can try the stealth roll. If it doesn't work, then make me
You
invisible.
can go invisible.
If you stealth roll and it doesn't work, you get caught.
Wait,
You
is
get
that?
yes, but you get stealth roll with advantage. So if you go invisible or turn someone invisible, it's a massive help.
Okay, fine. Ali, hit me with that
Are you
invis,
guys
boy.
interested in exploring? Like, what's the game plan?
I think
Yeah,
the game
we're gonna
plan is,
explore.
yeah, I
So
I do some
who's,
recon and then come back. No?
Who's going in to explore? Who's rolling stealth? to
I believe
explore?
I believe it's me.
Are you going to go in stealthy, or are you going in as a group? What's the plan?
We're doing stuff.
Wait, can you not hear me, Mo?
Okay, so either one of you
I
needs
don't think
to
he can.
Mo.
either one
Hello?
of you needs to like nominate
Wait,
yourself.
Well, I
Mo,
think
can
you
you-
have
can you mute
muted
Faisal?
face.
Wait, I can't hear Faisal. Is that
Hello.
what is he
Yeah.
speaking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just like chatting shit about you and
Yeah,
stuff like
fuck
that.
yourself.
Like, oh, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, Faisal, rejoin, bro, or I'll rejoin. I
Wait,
can't hear you.
I can
Um,
rejoin. Wait. Hello? Can you hear me now? Man, what is the second time this happens or someone doesn't hear me?
Well,
Hello?
the first time I honestly muted you, bro.
I know you fucking cunt. Just because I sung for like 5 seconds, Ali, ya kelb.
You know your voice is like deafening my ears when you sing.
Yeah, when I sing like that, sure.
Yeah, when you sing normal, it's okay.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, when I do the
I can't hear Frauke now.
Ah! Hello, can you hear me now?
Well,
Oh,
I'm
no,
muted Faisal again, you know that.
I
Fake, can
can't
you
hear
hear?
Faisal at all, though.
Bro, can you right click on my name or something? Like, click on me?
Well, maybe if you right click on Faisal's name, maybe there's
Yeah, I
some
checked his
secret.
volume. His volume's fine. He's not muted or anything.
Well, we could tell you what Faisal is saying.
Wait, no, you can't. Fuck you.
Basically,
Hey,
I'm
Mo,
sorry,
don't trust them.
Faisal is going to be the one who's sneaking in, right? That's
Mo,
Yeah,
can
we
you hear
all-
me now?
No, I can't.
I'm gonna
Okay, so are you-
disconnect.
No, wait.
that's
what
pretty
do I do?
Hello? Mo?
You
sorry.
can't.
Mo?
No, I can't hear you, Faisal.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay, look. Are we agreeing that I'm making Faisal invisible? He goes in, or we all go together stealthy?
I'd say send me in invis.
Do
I'm
one.
safer.
For like reconnaissance, because it's like a nest, and there could be like a lot of bugs and monsters, and you know what I mean.
And like,
We want
what's
to get
the
the
point?
element of surprise.
Exactly.
All right, then I'm casting my invisibility spell on Faisal.
Okay, Faisal, roll stealth with advantage, and
wait.
I'm going to close Discord and reopen it and see if that works.
All right. Am I right? Did I understand it right with invisibility?
What do you mean? That you make me invisible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or did we agree on going stealthily?
No.
I don't
We said make me invisible.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear him.
Hey, okay, so I
Nice.
roll stealth with advantage, yeah?
Yeah, stealth with advantage.
Hey, Mo, do I remove one of my slots in this invisibility?
Yes, you do. You move a slot. Okay, so 13 plus 8 is 21. And
21?
okay, Faisal, so 21. Faisal, you you slowly like make your way down. There's like a lot of loose dirt on the burrow, but you're careful. You plant your feet like carefully and slowly, and your progress isn't like you're not like fucking fast, but you make your way down without anybody
Making
being
my way
any
downtown.
the wiser. And once you reach ground level, it's dark. It's very dark inside. It's some kind of basement dungeon. From the little you can see, there are broken jail cells everywhere. There used to be like lines of iron bars like all along either side of the wall, like segmented into cells. There's no like segmentation. Like the cell walls are all completely destroyed by something. Um, if you want to like go in, you won't be seen. You rolled high enough to not be seen, but you need to roll a perception at disadvantage because of the darkness. If you walk in, unless do you have dark vision?
I don't. I think Frauke has dark vision.
Only half elves.
Okay.
Only half elves have dark vision, I guess.
I think Asimar should have it as well, but
Yeah, I've
ASMR?
done
so
Wait, but I'm one of those dudes, aren't I? No, I'm a
no,
male
you're
Genasi.
Ganassi,
Yeah.
arrogant. So yeah, you start to
Wait, Mo, hold
like
up. I have an
yes.
ability called levitate. Can I levitate and go above people to increase my chances of not getting like cut?
You won't get caught based off the roll.
Okay.
Depending on the situation, you could use it for that effect. And then I would give you advantage or something. But
Okay.
yeah,
Fine.
you need to use it a certain way.
Okay. The
And
dungeon
it's
look
used.
okay, or is there no end to it?
Wait, can I like make him a torch or something?
No, but then I'm not sneaky.
You would yeah, you'd ruin his
True.
stealth. I can't see the screen you're sharing, but I have an inkling that the screen is what ruined it for me, so I'm just gonna leave it. I think I couldn't.
Oh
hear
wait,
you
I
because of
didn't.
the-
I didn't share my screen right now. Wait.
Oh.
That no, because I left and joined back, and the screen share was off. So now it's on. Check it out.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, that's pretty good. Like basically the walls in between would all be broken, but you don't have to depict that. So like, yeah, and the bars themselves are like broken and shit. But yeah, give me the perception roll for
Okay, perception.
actually
roll.
explore.
I think my perception is 1d20 plus 2. Oh yeah.
16, yeah, that's good enough. So you start to make your way into the basement of the castle. It's like you noticed from when you got here as well, it's not the biggest keep. It's relatively big, but it's not like massive. And even the underground dungeon, like you'd imagine this was the kind of place that was used for like insubordinate troops or something. You know, they're not meant to hold that many. Just
Okay.
anyone who's acting up.
Do I have a full
And, like, there's
layout, or still?
Yeah, you get a full layout as you're walking through. It's a simple room. It's just rectangular. There's 8 cells on either side, and at the end there's like a collapsed staircase. And as you get towards the end of the 8 cells, you start to notice like large chunks of wood, like fragments of tree bark, like basically large natural plants and bark pieces and stuff like scattered everywhere. It becomes harder to keep your footfall silent. You're kind of like dodging all the shit spewed across the floor. And as your eyes slowly adjust to the dark and you get to the end of the cells and you notice some kind of figure in front of the collapsed staircase, you realize where this wood and shit is coming from. There's like shattered tree trunks in a big circle, and
On the
inside
floor?
it, yeah, like on the floor, like there's like a kind of semicircle of like shattered tree trunks and like big chunks of wood, and in the middle of it you see a giant creature, like a fucking huge creature.
Do I know what it is?
Based on your roll of survival. On your background you wouldn't know because you're a thief.
Well.
Fucking T.
Oof.
What did you roll? 7. So you don't know what it is, but you essentially see a 4-legged creature. It is 15 feet by 15 feet.
Jesus. That's
It's
like
fucking big.
big.
Yeah, and down the center of its body, like aligned on its spine, while it stands on 4 legs, are these giant, like spade-like bone protrusions going all the way down to a tail, down the tail, and at the end of the tail, there's like 4 big tusk-like things coming out on either side.
Like a dinosaur.
So it has like a very like a dinosaur,
Yeah.
actually.
Is it a dinosaur, Mo?
If you were a ranger, you would have recognized it as a dinosaur.
But since I'm a thief, I haven't read books about dinosaurs. So.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what you see, and I'll give it to you on your roll was DC.
What are these dinosaurs called? Just so that I can get a prompt.
It's a stegosaurus. That's what it is.
Okay.
It's literally just a stegosaurus. That's what it is.
Just a stegosaurus chilling in the basement of this thing. I didn't know we had dragons, or sorry, dinosaurs in this world. But good.
Dragons are dinosaurs.
Dragons are dinosaurs. Fucking shit, no, I didn't think about that. Okay, but I don't know what it is, so I just have to go and be like, big lizard!
Okay.
Big lizard, big...
The other thing you notice is, and this is because you rolled higher than the 15, you notice that next to it, kind of, its tail is like wrapped around in a circle, so that it's like encircled around something, giving something warmth. And you notice a brood of 6 big ass fucking eggs. Massive eggs, like 6-foot eggs.
Cool. So it's
Okay.
a dragon. So we can kill it and then get its eggs, and then raise them as our own fighting dinosaurs. Right?
You could try to tame one.
Wait, is any one of us a dragonborn?
What?
No one's a dragonborn. I don't think anyone rolled a dragon.
No.
No one
Damn.
rolled a
I don't
dragon.
think it wouldn't provide any benefit, by the way.
Because it's not a
Wouldn't do
dragon.
it. Yeah, even if it was a dragon, they don't give a shit about dragonborn.
Okay.
To them, dragonborn are like the mutated like offspring. It's like a wolf meeting a pug.
So we're the pugs. Okay. Cool. Okay, so I've reconned. Did I go through the cells? Do I know what's in there?
With your roll, you wouldn't have seen anything of interest in the cells, at least with a perception. If you clear the area and you do an investigation
Yes,
roll,
and then maybe we
might
can...
some-
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, I go back and I convey the information to my crew. Where the fuck?
Okay, so once Faisal basically explains that there's a stegosaurus underneath.
No, but can I explain it
Castle.
in my words? Guys,
Yeah.
big thing, scales, dragon, but no wings, like a lizard, but big, really big, like 15 by 15 feet, like, it has a big tail with, like, spikes on its back. Yeah, but still not a dragon, so does anyone know what this is?
No.
Everyone roll
You forgot
intelligence.
the egg.
Uh-huh.
Whether you can roll survival. Yeah, you forgot to mention the eggs.
Oh, right, it has, like, eggs. It lays eggs, like a lizard. But big, again, don't forget, very big.
Yeah, so Brother's rolling survival. Brother, based off the pieces of broken rock, whilst Faisal was gone as well, you noticed a couple of footprints, and based on Faisal's description, you correctly identify it as a stegosaurus. And you also know from your experience that stegosaurus eggs are big money. Big money.
Ooh.
But a giant stegosaurus is not easy to fucking kill. Let's not forget that part, huh?
This is true.
It is known.
No, wait. How about we steal the eggs?
Where is that from, by the way? It is known.
Now, aren't you a thief,
It is
Faisal?
known.
Yeah. It is
Faisal can actually attempt to steal them. You would get advantage because you're invisible.
Okay, fine. I'll go try and
Yeah.
steal it.
And
What could go wrong?
you rolled a high enough stealth that you can sneak up to it. You'd have to roll sleight of hand to like.
Alright.
Bro,
How
I
many
just
eggs are you
died.
taking? First of all,
How many are there?
Wait,
There
how
were
many are
3,
there?
right?
there is. Did I say 3? I thought I said more. We'll say there's 5 for the sake of.
We're taking all of them.
Interesting.
Okay, better because I have 5 hands, right?
You can so you can take them and put them in your pack one by one. It'll be a sleight of hand check for each one.
So I have to do 5 d20 plus my whatever.
No, you'll do them one by one. So
Oh my god.
1d20 at a time.
Yep, we're doing it.
Intense. Okay, fine. Let's go.
Right.
Plus
Hey,
6.
how about we stay close so if anything happens to Faisal, we can intervene.
No, if you enter, he'll
Guys,
notice you, right?
No, we'll.
You guys
yeah.
are all one turn away. So if something went wrong, you would have to spend one turn getting to Faisal. So Faisal would be on his own for one round, but then
Fuck,
you
I
guys
say
could get
dead
there.
if it ends.
You wouldn't die.
Guys, Faisal will do the job amazingly. Just watch.
Thanks for the
Okay.
faith, man. Okay, let's do this. 1 second.
You have some time, but how long does invisibility stay if he gets caught?
The invisibility is an hour, and it'll stay even if he gets caught. So it'll have disadvantage trying to hit him,
Oh, okay, good.
but it'll just know he's there.
Okay.
Raise up the groovy volume, guys.
Yo, so roll sleight of hand check. Faisal.
Alright,
Roll the
I'm,
first one.
Damn! Oh my god!
Caught immediately.
What was it?
1 plus 6.
1?
7.
Oh, fuck. So Faisal, like, you creep in, you make your way through the broken trees and shit, you pick up one of the eggs. Dude, it's a little wetter than you imagine. It slips out of your hands and just cracks.
Oh no.
There's this moment of silence where, like, the Stegosaurus mom looks at its kid
Oh my god!
splat out on the fucking ground and looks at the invisible fucking thing that was, like, lifting its egg at where it was, and it just flips out. The fucking tail whacks into the wall. You feel like pieces of stone falling down. And like everyone from outside the burrow, you can hear this thing just start like screaming, basically like in horror.
Shit. Mo, look at
So-
the picture. Promise this.
Egg. Yo, so Faisal, roll initiative.
Oh what? I'm getting into combat with this thing?
Yeah, dude.
Oh.
It's pissed. You just killed its kid.
Yeah. Great.
How much? There are like 5 or 6 of them, right?
Dude, not my day, man. What are these rolls?
Alright, hold up. So its dex is -1 because it's big. So 8. So you guys go at the same time. Okay, everyone else roll. Everyone else roll as well for next
Initiative?
round. Yes, roll initiative for next round.
I'm playing Final Fantasy fight music. So what am I supposed to do?
So I'm waiting for everyone else to roll and then we'll start combat.
Fuck, so bad.
Oh man. Dude,
How
this
many
thing can have a
Stegosaurus
lot
are
of
there?
health. I'm trying to see how much I want to fuck you guys up.
Oh my
Give me a sec.
god.
No mercy, Mo. No mercy.
No man, I'll
Bruh,
do
this
it.
was
How
not.
will we learn? How will we learn?
This is not supposed to happen this way, man.
Should have listened to the
15
mate.
hours or so. Oh my god, okay.
Oh my god, okay. That's not what I wanted to use.
I've got its HP set out, and I'll get the armor class in. Okay. It's big, so it has a relatively low armor class, even though it's heavily armored. So
So it's
that's
only
good.
one, right?
Yeah, there's only one enemy. It's fucking huge though. It's 15 feet by 15 feet. So Faisal, you rolled an 8. The Stegosaurus also rolled an 8. So you both have turns at the same time.
Great.
To make things interesting,
Oh, more interesting.
if you want, are you going to try to dodge and run away?
Oh, sorry, Mo, 1 sec. I need to lower the music volume.
Yeah, no worries.
Am I gonna try to dodge and run away? I don't know, man. What's the game plan? Like, okay, wait. This thing is big, yeah? Really big?
Yeah, it's big. Yeah.
Is the... could we collapse anything on this dude?
You have perception before you have to fight.
Like, cause he's really big. Wait, Mo, can I try to get him to hit the wall by running to the wall and, like, ducking?
Okay. So give me a general dexterity check.
Okay. Dexterity.
Decent.
16. So
Yeah.
Faisal, you watch as like this thing spins around. It's kind of weird. It's like facing you with its back, and you recognize that it's coming at you with the tail. It's trying to hit you with some of the spikes right on the back. So you like start running, and it starts shifting its position to match you where you're at, and you manage to skirt right by the wall.
The
And,
left wall?
As the tail comes at, yeah, the right side wall.
Oh.
And as the tail comes at you, you just manage to scramble like onto the ground and avoid the swing of the tail. And as it hits into the ground, let's say I'll roll the damage, or let me roll a dex save for this thing. See if it manages to save it. It's got really shit dexterity though, so I doubt it. So yeah, that's a failed DC, and we'll set it to RB. 14, nice, 2 6s. So
Shouldn't
you watch
those
as,
be
like,
secret
three-
rolls, Mo?
Huh?
Shouldn't those have been secret rolls?
It's not really a big deal if you guys notice what the thing does, because it's not like a secret what its stats. Its stats are secret, but you're not getting its stats. You're just getting its
It's a roll. Fine.
reaction. Yeah, its reaction. So 17 9 minus 4. What's 9 minus 4? 5.
5. Quick maths.
60. Okay, so it doesn't seem all that bothered, but 3 large chunks of rock from the ceiling managed to collapse onto it, and you watch like blood starting to flow from its body as the rock lands. Okay, so everybody else roll initiative, and
We did it already, right?
did you?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
we already did.
Yeah, we did.
Garbage.
Me and Better got 9, and Falke got 12.
Okay, Frauke got 12.
So Falke's first.
I didn't roll for Onward. Let me roll for him.
So Falke.
7. Okay, so Onward comes first. So from the outside, you guys notice. First, you notice the screaming, and you immediately know
Who's
that
screaming? Me?
the Stegosaurus.
Okay,
screaming.
because I was like, what am I just like, ah?
And so you know that Faisal fucked up, and then as you like hear the fucking like dinosaur roar like echoing out from the like hole, you hear this like shudder, and you watch like some of the rocks on the outside of the castle starting to collapse a bit, just from the general impact of whatever is down there smacking against the wall. The Stegosaurus, you guys did identify it. So then, as you hear the rumble, Amla reacts first. He knows that Faisal is probably engaging this thing on his own, so he's gonna use his full movement to get in there and come up by the Stegosaurus, and then he's going to use his wild shape to turn into a black bear. So Amr is a black bear, and that's his turn. So the Stegosaurus like kind of takes a few steps back and like You watch its tail like start knocking some shit around. As Armor comes in and like kind of like comes in from the side and spooks it a bit, and it takes a defensive position. So that takes us to Frauka. What do you do on your turn?
I'm gonna. I can only run in, right? Like,
So
I can't engage yet.
you can engage and run in. Armor used his action to turn into an animal. That's why he couldn't attack.
Ah, okay. Then I'm gonna run in with my axe.
The great axe.
Yeah.
Do I have Umar positioned properly?
Yeah, yeah.
So I roll on it.
Yeah. So 1d20 plus 1. So, despite the heavy armor, the size of the creature in such a small space makes it actually a reasonably easy target to hit. And you swing the axe, and with pretty easily you manage to bury it into the creature. So roll for damage.
Wait, wasn't there also some dark black thing in the background?
What do you mean?
Weren't there two enemies? There's the big thing in the middle.
No.
No.
I said that there was like a weird dark shape, and then as you got closer, you noticed the dark shape was an Ankylosaurus. Like,
Oh, okay, so it's just the one enemy. Fine.
yeah, it's just the one.
Okay.
So Frauka, did you roll damage?
Mm-hmm.
You did. Okay, so next up is Ali and Badr.
I'll let Badr go first.
Wait, can I use the net?
Probably
It's
not
too
really
big for the net. It's definitely too big for the net. And also, like, it's capable of moving its tail still, so immobilizing it wouldn't do all that much.
I make everyone a little
Right.
bit smaller so that we get the right scale of this guy. That's a good size, right? Yeah. Okay.
Wait, could I use my longbow as I'm coming down to it and like hit it on the way before I get
It's
closer?
within 30 feet. So,
Yeah. Alright, short sword time.
I would heavily recommend, if you stick with a ranger, to buy a short bow as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, first
I mean,
purchase.
the crossbow's really close range as well. It's
I
like 30
could-
feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could give you a short bow.
Are you not interested in using it, Faisal? It's
Well-
good to have two people in range,
That's fair.
just in case.
That's fair. No, then I'll keep it. I was just gonna try and
Okay,
bargain
so-
with Bedlam, but fuck it.
What, you want the
Yeah, so
poison?
are you guys
vial?
ready for that?
I hear you stolen some poison.
By the way, after this, I'm call it as well.
Yeah.
End of session. Badr, so you rolled a 20. So do critical damage. Whatever it is, do two dice.
Wait, he can't do a short bow, right? He can't do the bow.
no.
So
Like
what's
what?
he doing?
Halfway through the battle, you just throw me your short bow, and I just like, you know.
No, no. What do you need? What do you need? What's his weapon?
It's his short sword.
Okay.
2d6 plus 4, so 13.
Does
Okay, so
Anybody recognize this short sword?
So Badr, you come in and you like start slicing at the legs,
hug it?
and you manage
Yeah.
to like get the back of the knee, and one of the legs momentarily collapses. You're starting to see the first signs
Which
of
leg?
damage
Front
on this
leg,
thing.
back leg?
Front leg. It's only momentarily, so like for like half a second it like gets on the ground and then pushes itself back up. It's still in fighting condition. It's starting to just now look hurt, but it's not like anywhere close to dying just yet.
Good to know.
Butter,
Good to know.
wait, Butter already did his turn. Who's next?
Ali.
Ali, you're next. Yeah.
I'll go for mirror image and move behind the magnet.
So you're gonna use your action to do mirror image?
Yeah, but I place myself behind the animal.
Are we allowed to move away after we've attacked?
You can, but it gets an attack of opportunity because you're leaving its space.
Shit.
Yeah. So I'm moving first to there. and
So
then-
Ali, you're circumventing it and you're casting mirror image. So there's like
Yeah.
4 of you behind it.
Yep.
Roll intimidation again, but roll it at disadvantage this time.
Okay, intimidation. What is the disadvantage again?
Shadow clone jutsu.
The disadvantage again.
You roll twice and you take the lowest. Is that
Oh.
what you're asking?
Okay, yeah. 20 plus intimidation.
Are they positioned properly?
And I'll fucking laugh if he fucking passes this. Yeah, they're positioned good.
Did I do it wrong?
No, you did it right. Is Avery fucking...
Of course, the real Ali is like
You
on
just-
top of the
I think you
broken
shouldn't
egg.
have put a
There was a
space
space between the plus. Yeah.
and the 20.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, okay. Should I do it again?
Yeah, go for it. Ooh, bro. It's a disadvantage. If it was a regular roll, you
No.
succeeded.
Wait, what was
Okay,
that?
so
What was
It
that?
was a roll at disadvantage, so you have to take the lower of the 2 rolls.
Yeah. So Ali comes behind it and he turns into 4 people. For a moment, it looks like it's going to work again.
Oh, no.
The thing like takes a look at Ali and like watches him multiply and it realizes it's surrounded, and it starts to freak out. But then it looks back at the egg that was broken, and it looks at Faisal, and it's like, fuck that, dude.
Oh my
It
god.
decides to stay. Okay, so I'm gonna roll for it first, because technically,
It's attacking.
actually, okay, pick a number, 1 or 2, Faisal.
2. Did I choose wisely?
I don't know, it's up to Avery. Yeah, you're first. Okay, so get your turn first.
Oh, me or the monster, you mean? Okay.
Yeah.
What do I have in my inventory? Let me see. Fat. Ooh, wait, I have an idea. That sounds funny, but I do indeed. We both do things at the same time, right? I want to levitate above him, so he can attack me.
Okay, so you use your action to cast levitate.
Yeah.
And you start floating, and so you guys all watch.
Oh,
as
do I not need
Faisal,
to
like,
roll for
slow-
it to work or anything?
No, it's just an on-cast ability. So you start rolling, you roll for it, and you start floating up in the air. As you're floating up, you do get an opportunity attack against you because it's Stegosaurus. You're technically still moving out of its range.
Shit.
So I will roll for that. That's tail plus 8 to hit.
Oh my god.
So
What's your
who's
AC?
it trying to hit?
Huh? I don't
What's
want to
your
say.
armor
What
class?
What did you get?
14.
I have 15. Woo! Woo!
Oh, so
Oh.
so you feel this like whoosh of air as the tail like whips out. underneath,
Tickles my
just
asshole.
like, just out of range. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man.
And okay, so that was its opportunity attack, and now technically the round restarts, and the Stegosaurus is coming back in with another attack. Seeing Faisal out of range, it's going to look around and it'll see the bear, which is, it would
no.
deem that as the biggest threat. So it's gonna go for the bear.
Are
with another
Ali's
plus-
mirrored images still there?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
Unless he dispels them, I
Oh,
believe,
okay.
or someone damages them. I think.
Yeah, it's like this. If he attacks me, I roll, and if he hits me, you know,
Okay, so 11 hits. Omar, I don't know if it hits a black bear. Yeah, it hits a black bear as well. Rip.
I'm much damage and stuff.
3d6 plus 4. 4d6 plus 4. Jesus. $24. So this tail hits armor, and he goes flying into the wall. Right behind him, basically.
Nani?
So he like flies across into the near. He like breaks through the bars of the near cells, and you notice that as he's getting back up, he's not fucking a bear anymore. It took all the bear's HP. He's back into his human form.
Shit. Hey guys, wanna buy some drugs?
Okay, so.
And he's on the
that
outside,
6 is
right?
back
I got
up.
this right.
Yeah. So Almer is back up. Just got knocked the fuck back. Lost his bear form. What spells does this motherfucker man's to take this seriously? Does he have no spells? Are you for real?
Yes, carry fire, pass without trace,
Fruit,
spider climb.
guidance. Oh man, he picked like. Okay, I'm gonna try something weird. RD plus. What's Eileen's Arcana?
My Amar's not mine.
No, I'm sorry, not
Amar's
yours.
arcane. Arcana is +1.
+1?
Yeah.
10. Okay, so Amar tries to like alter a spell and cast it to help, but it fails. He doesn't manage to do anything on his thing. That was the best option. He doesn't have a lot of aggressive spells. Okay. So Frauke, you're next.
Okay. Can I like try and climb on top of it and kill it like with a like thing in the neck or something like that?
Give me a. Which one is higher for you? Do you have a higher bonus to athletics or strength?
Athletics, yeah.
Wait, we
Huh?
can actually
what?
roll to just one shot it?
Strength. No, not
Sorry.
to one shot.
Athletics or what?
Athletics or strength.
What about acrobatics?
Strength is one of the standards. She's not. She's in heavy
It's
armor. She
both
can't do
+3.
Okay.
Okay, so pick. Well, it doesn't matter. Just do +3 to a d20 roll. So d20 +3.
$17.
Okay. So you climb. So you guys watch as Frauke like grabs onto the leg and starts like grabbing the folds of skin on this like giant thing. And climbs up.
That's
and
very
she's
descriptive.
she's like holding onto this spade like rock things coming out of its spine and like using them for balance, and you're on top of it. So Frauke, you get advantage on your attacks because you're literally on top of it.
It's crazy.
Okay, so I'm going to use the sword. So first the. Oh, do I do the hit then 2 now or only damage?
You do 2 d20 for the hit.
Okay.
And then we'll take the highest. Damn, dude. An astrofunk while you're killing a stegosaurus. Okay, so 17. So that definitely hits. And then roll damage.
Okay. Still don't know these.
8. So, okay. Frauke, you take the sword and you like dig it into the spine. It slips in between like the rib cage of the animal, and you barely manage to hold on as it starts shaking. And for the first time, you notice that, or rather, not for the first time, but you finally start to notice signs of like actual damage. It's not. It's still not close to dying, but you estimate you've taken about half of its life away.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. So then that takes us to Ali and Badr again.
Ali, you and your shadow clones.
My shadow clones are just a defensive thing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they don't actually function.
I figured that'd
Yeah.
be crazy if they could attack.
They do attack, but their attacks do nothing.
Yeah.
So I'll just cast a fire. Okay, but then
Do you have any aggressive spells, by the way, that aren't AoE?
except firebolt, no. My what do you call it? Magic missile. But
Yeah, Firebolt's better. Magic
Yeah.
Missile doesn't do a lot of damage.
True.
Okay.
Well,
For
better.
those of you who have like high damage spells,
Mhm.
and now is the time. This thing can actually wipe your whole party out. Like,
Yeah, guys, don't be fucking
Same as
stingy
Ali.
with your shit, huh? I can do anything as long as I got a fucking rapier. I'm not gonna fucking fight a dinosaur with a rapier. But if anyone has abilities, please.
you can still attack, by the way. You can use your levitate in tandem with your movement, so you
Yeah.
can like jump in and hit if you want.
Alright, I'll consider it.
Did you go ahead?
So yeah, Firebolt just 5
Oh,
plus 6.
I thought Better goes first because he rolled already.
I went, but
Okay.
I think I missed.
Yeah, you missed. You barely missed though. It's AC 12, so one off. So basically, you stab with the sword, but you manage to hit a particularly thick portion of hide, and like it breaks skin, but you don't do any like actual damage.
Me either.
And Ali as well, you miss. So the fire like kind of hits the beast, but it just dissipates on the tail. It doesn't do anything. Which takes us back to Faisal. You're first since you rolled a 2, so you can choose to attack this thing or.
I've got this thing called. I've got like bonus actions, but they don't matter right now, right? I can't use them.
What do you have in bonus actions?
I have 2 weapon fighting. You can take or cunning action. You can take a bonus action on each of your turns to take the dash, disengage, or hide action, and fast hands. You can use the bonus action granted by your cunning action to make a sleight of hand check. Use your thieves' tools to
Okay.
disarm trap.
So disengage is one that's actually pretty useful. So on your bonus action on your turn, disengage I believe lets you leave the radius of an enemy without them giving an opportunity attack because you're disengaging. So you
Okay.
can use your levitate to like swoop in, hit
Attack,
it, and then
and then run
disengage,
away.
and then it
Okay.
won't be and it won't be able to attack you.
But 2 weapon fighting, I can't use that right now.
You could use it. You could fight with 2 weapons. And
Oh,
then do
if
it.
I use my bonus action to attack with a different
Yeah.
light weapon. Okay, so I cannot
Yeah.
do attack, both hands, and then disengage at the same time.
Yeah, you have to choose one or the other.
Okay, and then I'd be in attack range for this thing.
Yep.
And
Yep.
my odds are not so good that it doesn't hit, right?
Bear in mind that it did 24 damage in one hit.
Oh, really? Okay. Well,
Yes.
then I believe I will do a rapier attack. Let me do a hit chance. 20 plus, what is it, 6. Ewa! Give
20.
him!
Okay, sweet.
It's not crit.
No,
Uh,
only on natural. On a non-natural 20, there's no crit.
Okay, now I do 1d8 plus 4.
Okay. So you managed to get a good nick in, like scratch its face, nothing fatal. And then I'm assuming you use disengage, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna use disengage.
So then you watch as like Faceless like swoops in and like kind of slashes it across the face, irritates it, and then like leaves. And he's like floating above all the chaos again. Okay, so then it's going to be its turn. It's going to be feeling crowded, so it's going to use its stamp Oh fuck. Okay.
Oh god.
Everyone roll a DC 13. Roll a charisma save. Charisma save. Sorry. Roll
What's a
D20
charisma? Oh, it's a charisma?
Yeah, and then if you do get lower than 13, you fail.
What's a charisma? I don't know.
Charisma is one of the top ones next to strength, wisdom, blah blah blah. Charisma.
So 1d20 plus our charisma, right?
Yeah, 1d20
Yeah.
plus 2, I guess. Oh, thank God.
Faisal passes. Frauka passes.
Ooh.
Mother. Okay. This thing starts smashing the ground, and you feel like fucking like the feet stomping, the ground shaking, the ceiling starts to crumble a bit, bits of rock are falling everywhere. All of you manage to hold it. Badr, you run the fuck out of there. You're scared shitless, bro. So you'll start your next turn out of the burrow. Like you'll have to come back in.
Okay. Can I chill outside the burrow?
Yeah. So you basically.
Look, but there's like kind of looking in. He's like, is it safe yet?
Okay.
Moral support, guys. Cheer you up.
I'm still here.
So then we go back up to the top. It's Amar's turn, and
I'm still on top
Yes.
there? After all this
Yeah,
stuff.
you're still on top of there. You passed the DC, so you held on.
Riding that bitch.
Amar's no longer a black bear.
Mm-mm.
I'm just gonna attack with the hand axe. There's
Just
no
a
option
drug
other than
dealer. No.
4. Okay, so Amar tries to swing with the axe, and it just like bounces off the skin. No fucking hit at all.
Mm.
Frauka, it's your turn again. Roll a athletics check. See if you stay on. Get knocked off.
Error in roll. Unexpected input on line 1, column 1. Expected OOP.
You did a double exclamation mark.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of a 1, you put an exclamation mark.
Mm.
Damn.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay, so there's this moment where like the Stegosaurus stops paying attention to everyone else, finally noticing that Frauka is on its back and starts fucking shaking everywhere.
Excuse me?
But she just fucking holds onto the fucking
No.
just holds onto the like spade bone plate and just kind of stays on. You're like basically surfing this thing while it bucks around the fucking place. Okay, so roll again with advantage to attack.
Can I I have this spell where I can make my weapon more
Damagey.
damagey,
Yeah, definitely
I guess.
cast that. Definitely cast that. I'll give you. Is it guidance or something? What's it called?
I have Channel Divinity, Sacred Weapon. It gives you +2 attack rolls.
Okay. Give me a second. Let me look at it. Divine Sense.
That's
Okay. Divine Smite. Extra 2d8 on the weapons damage.
Yeah, either that or Channel Divinity. It's called.
Channel Divinity I don't think is as good.
Okay.
Yeah. I would use Divine Smite. And it basically costs 1 first level slot, and if you hit, you do extra damage.
Okay.
So you hit, and just take 1 first level spell slot away.
Mhm.
And then roll the damage for your hit, and then I'll show you how to roll for Divine Smite.
Okay. But I do 2d20, right?
No, you already rolled, didn't you? Oh no, yeah, you have to roll
No.
2d20 for the hit.
Yeah.
I fucked up. Okay, 9 plus 5, so you hit.
Okay.
And then roll the damage.
Hmm.
Do you guys know Salt Bay? The dude who does the salt shit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, he has some good
So
food.
then roll another 2d8 for extra damage.
Hmm.
Roll the 2d8 again because you have great weapon fighting. So this is actually like one of the first big hits you see this thing take. So the blade like slips between the ribs again, and you guys notice as Frauke's blade starts like glowing a bright white light. And there's this like flash of light inside the Stegosaurus's body, and you can kind of for a moment see behind the skin because of the light inside it. And you see it like bulge slightly as there's like an explosion, and then like it starts freaking out as she pulls the blade out, and it looks like it's taken a lot of damage. It's finally starting to look like it's close to dying. So Ali and Badr, you're back. We'll say Ali goes first because he's actually in the room. Badr, you're
Yeah.
still...
Roll.
Making my way downtown.
That's a good joke. I remember when I made it 30 minutes ago.
Ah,
So you miss again.
the fuck, man.
عليه أحوال.
So Ali, like you're like casting a spell and the tail comes at you, and whilst you're dodging the tail, the spell misses completely and like hits the wall.
Come on, brother, what's wrong with us?
Wait,
Rip.
from the entrance, is he far enough to use his bow and arrow?
No,
if you had
no.
a short bow, I would say yeah, but no. So you use your movement to run in and you take a look at this thing and you can't help but remember like it's shaking the whole fucking ground and you're so scared you end up completely missing your hit. The sword just like slipping through air despite this thing being fucking like triple your size.
I have a
And we're
question.
back to Faisal. Yeah, what's up?
Is it possible, like, let's say Ali and I are on the same turn, right?
Yeah.
Would it be possible then, in the same instance, for him to, like, I don't know, launch me into the air so that I can attack?
Ali can, so if he's before you in initiative, he can work with you. If he's after you, okay, how do I explain this? If someone is higher up the initiative order than you have to wait till next round to do something with them.
Okay.
If someone is below you, you can like skip your turn or hold off on your turn until that person comes up. So you have
And
to plan
then,
it.
and then we can execute together.
Yeah. So, for example, Ali rolled a 9 and you rolled an 8. If Ali waited one turn, you guys could work together. Since Badr and Ali are on the same thing, they don't have to wait. They have the same initiative, so they can execute instantly.
Well, what can we do together?
That's up to you guys to figure out, dude. Like, you have to use your spells and
Yeah.
abilities.
But, like, let's
and them.
imagine you could... Wait, with his firebolt, for example, can it set things alight like a weapon?
I'll allow it if you guys choose to work that way. You can add the damage.
Because it's a fire
But it would
shot.
basically, there would be no point.
Because he
Yeah.
could
Because it
just
would just
damage
be
someone
adding the
directly.
damage. Yeah.
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 Because my firebolt's actually doing pretty
Are
much.
there lighters in this game?
You can use a torch for the equivalent of a lighter, but you need to light the torch to do that.
How
So
do you
can't
light
just,
the
like,
torch?
pull one out. With kindling on a
Okay.
fire. Like
Yeah.
Oh, like a
start a fire.
fireplace? There's no, like...
No, or you
No,
start a
become, like,
fire. Like you
granite
find, like,
plates.
yeah.
Okay, because I'm
Like old
thinking,
school.
like, maybe I could douse my blade in, like, alcohol and then... No, but that's weak, right?
You could burn it alive with alcohol, but you guys would need to clear out one by one to make space for that.
Yeah, but then we risk like collapsing the building.
Yeah, and you would definitely destroy the eggs. They
Yeah.
would be gone.
Okay. Fine. Whose turn?
Your turn, Faisal.
All right, I will be swinging in. Would you say? Wait, you said it was close-ish to death, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Come
Can
on,
I?
kill your
Wait,
bro.
I can't ask like how close, right? I gotta just take a risk. Fine, I'm gonna use double attack on its head.
If you want, you can use your free action to try to ascertain how close it is to death. Make a survival check.
My free
won't
action or
cost
my
you any-
bonus action?
It's free action. It's not even a bonus action.
Okay.
It doesn't cost that.
Let's see. I have no survival, but I'll give it a try. Nope.
Yeah, you can't tell.
Alright.
As far as you're concerned, it looks as pissed as it was fucking 10 seconds ago, and as likely to fucking kill you.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do a double attack on its head. I'm still jumping. I'm still in the
Wait,
air.
how do you do that? Oh yeah, because you're up.
No,
So
I
one would
have
have
double
to be a
attack.
rapier and
I
one
bet that
would have to be
I'm
a
a
dagger.
thief. I get to do two-weapon fighting. What's
yeah,
up?
Okay.
So you can, one would have to be a rapier and one would be the dagger. You can't use the same weapon twice. That's how it works.
No, but I've got two daggers as well. But I wouldn't mind doing a
Yeah.
rapier and a dagger. That would be a nicer combination.
Rapier and dagger would do more damage.
Yeah.
That's why I suggested it. Yeah.
Okay, so
1d20, roll for the rapier and then roll for the dagger.
1d20 plus 6. That's for the rapier.
So that hits.
And do I roll again for the dagger, or do I roll the damage
Yep,
first?
yeah. No, just roll for the dagger. We might as well do them together.
1d20 plus 6 again.
So the dagger misses, the rapier hits.
Okay. So now I roll for the rapier. 1d20 plus... No, sorry. 1d8 plus 4. Ah. What are these rolls?
So Faisal like comes down again, and swoops in towards its face, scratches its cheek again, tries to go in for like the eye with the dagger but misses, and then this thing turns around and notices that Faisal didn't run away this time.
Oh, good.
He stuck around for an extra hit. And
Are
it's
you the
gonna
one
go-
deciding this for it, or... Yes, right?
Bro, I am the one deciding it for this, but you also killed its baby, bro. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
it's
no, no, it
pretty
is...
single track minded on you, like right now.
Oh, shit. Okay, fair. Fair shout, fair shout.
If someone else had dropped the baby, they'd be in the same position as you.
Pain. Okay.
Lesson learned: always be useless in D&D,
Mm.
so you don't go on these
For
missions.
real, man. If we die now, oof.
Yo, rogues are like that though. It's high risk, high reward, you know?
Feel
Okay, here's what I'll do because I do feel bad.
you.
I'll make a
No mercy.
I'll make a charisma check and see what
Ah.
happens.
For me?
17. No, dude, sorry, man. It's still focused.
It's still focused on me.
RNG gods have spoken, dude.
Yeah, man. Okay, fair.
Yo, that hits.
Oh.
17.
What's the damage?
46 plus 4.
What?
Dude, it's fucking huge. I
Wait,
told
wait. You said it did 27 damage a second ago.
Yeah, because that's
Because-
46 plus
yeah.
4.
It killed
That's
all my
what it rolled.
repair.
Oh,
Oh, fuck.
Wait. 4d6. I thought you said 46. And I was
No,
like...
no. 4d6
Oh, you
plus
fucking
4. So you
dead,
take 23. Are you alive?
Yeah, I have 4 HP.
Yep.
Okay, so
How much HP do you
Faisal,
have?
with your levitation spell, you feel yourself fly, and you feel your back smack against the ceiling as the tail finishes hitting you. You're now out of its range, but you're at 4 HP.
Oh, man.
And you're like, you guys notice like the little drops of blood like hitting your face as Faisal's like coughing blood out from the ceiling.
Nani?
Okay, right onto the top, Ali again.
Is it Frauke before me?
No, Amar, sorry, yeah.
I'm
Keep
better.
fucking
Yeah, I'm
guys up,
better.
your brothers.
We have no healer, right?
We do, Frauke's
Well, I'm a
She
healer,
can-
but I can only heal when it's my turn, right?
Yeah, I know. It's fine.
Yeah.
Take
And
your
I
time.
can throw you a health potion.
What's the damage on the hand axe, by the way, Ali?
And the damage on the hand axe,
For Amar.
it's 1d6 plus 1.
Nasty. 5. Okay. So 17 Oh shit! I accidentally said the HP out loud. Rip.
By the way, I think
Um,
it's a nice touch how you let the enemies hit us away, so that
Yeah.
we have a chance to not die immediately.
Yeah, well, with big things like this, I like to do that because big things always hit fucking hard, and physics-wise, it always makes sense. Like if something that was 15
Yeah.
feet squared smacked you, you'd go flying. Like
Just like in simulations.
just like in the simulations. So Amor like runs up and he manages to sink his axe in to one of the knees again, and this time the leg actually stays down, lands, and it's like one leg down, reduced mobility, and you're starting to see the first full signs of fatigue on this thing. It's falling apart. It's taken a while, but you got there.
You guys need to see the axe I've given Ahmad. 1 second.
Okay, Frauke, you're up. You have two choices. You can jump off this thing and it's called lay on hands, the spell
Yeah.
to give facial health, or you can try to get some hits in while you're on top of it.
Wait, Mo,
It's up
take a
to you.
second though. Look at the axe.
I saw the axe.
Yeah, Maybe
Do you just want to get the fuck out of there next time and we can like try and finish it?
When it's my
Yeah,
turn?
that's a viable possibility. Yeah, you can just
Can I
escape
just
face.
run
You're out
away?
of range.
Fine, fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna try and hit it again.
But
Wait,
you have
do I
to
still
do
have
the-
advantage or do I have
First
to
you
roll
have
it?
to first you have to roll athletics to
Yeah.
Okay.
stay on.
Okay. Mm. I
Nice.
guess I'm staying on.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So 2d.
20 plus 6, I think, is your damage.
That's a hit, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
And then.
How many first level spell slots do you have?
First level. 2.
Do you want to cast the guidance or whatever again?
Yeah, probably. It's the what is it called?
So
You can do
you're
smite
gonna-
again.
Yeah, divine smite or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It's 2d8 damage, so just roll regular damage and then 2d8
Mhm.
after.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so Frauke like plunges the sword in. Once again, you watch it glow once again. You see the like flash of light inside its body, and you watch all the legs buckle. It's not dead. The tail is still moving, and it's like got its last like attempts at defense left. And you notice that it like hasn't crushed a single of the other eggs. It's been defending them this entire time. And the tail is like curled around the eggs, trying to hold on to like keeping them
I
safe.
feel bad.
as
Can
much
we
as
spare
possible.
it?
You can
I
spare
mean,
it
it
if you
almost
want.
killed you. I wouldn't feel bad.
Yeah, but it was self-defense. I killed one of her babies. I don't know, man. This feels kind of fucked up, guys. I don't know.
We're hunting monsters, so that's our
So
job.
what? If it couldn't defend itself, it's okay?
It's not a monster. It's just a mama. We invaded her home, and we went to attack her for like no reason. For greed.
Nature, my
That's
friend.
what it was, man.
There's no
for
right
greed.
or wrong.
We're fucking capitalist pigs.
Okay,
No.
Badr Ali, it's your turns next. You can choose to walk away from this, or you can.
Can't we roll? Can't we
I'm
roll?
fighting.
No.
You're not
You
gonna
can
let us
There's
roll?
persuade
initiative
them.
order, dude.
No?
You can't break initiative order, man. It's
Yeah.
Wait.
It's
I
whoever
have an idea.
reacts
I have an
first.
idea, though. Wait, I have an idea. Fuck.
Wait,
is
how do
there a
you go?
way?
You
Is
go
there a
and
way to
I'll rock
knock
you.
it out without killing it?
You can use non-lethal damage, so the last two can be non-lethal. But that's up to Ali or Badr. If
You
they
guys
feel
don't
like
have to
that's
kill
something
it.
they would do.
If we don't kill it, we can take
Yeah.
the eggs and go. And check the rest of the cave for everything, but we don't have to kill it.
Yeah, Ali. So you hit. It's up to you.
Dinosaurs are an
Can-
endangered species.
Do you want to do? Do you want to do non-lethal damage or do you want to kill it?
I wanna knock it out.
Thank
You
you.
want to knock it out?
Like
Okay.
hit its head strong enough.
Okay, so roll damage.
Just look at it
Alright,
like we're
then I'll
fucking it.
do my
poor
fist
thing.
unarmed strike, right?
Can we
Yeah.
like make it our pet or something?
I doubt that.
You can use magic. I'll just say, just do the damage, and if it's enough, I'll like make it make sense.
Okay, I'll knock it out with my fireball then. Let's just.
I shove my wrist down its throat and explode its head so it gets knocked out.
Okay, so 2 damage was exactly what was needed.
Right.
So Ali, you pull a fireball out and you look at it, and then you kind of have a moment of humanity, and you're like, this was just a mother, and you cancel the spell, and using some like arcane ability and some time, you spend 10 minutes to put it to sleep. You
Okay.
cast a ritual sleep spell and you put it to sleep, and the mother like is really fucked up. Is like 2 seconds away from dying, but she's asleep.
Okay.
And there are 4 eggs remaining. Despite all the chaos, they've all survived. You can take the eggs or you can leave them.
I want to use my health potion for the animal.
No. Before you do that,
If you use your health potion, it'll wake up. Just by the way.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do it before we leave. After we leave. When we're leaving.
Okay, so when
Sorry,
it comes
wait,
to
Mo.
taking the eggs,
Are you taking the eggs or not?
How about we take 2 and leave 1 for her? You know.
or we take one
No.
and leave 2 for her.
listen, guys. I'm going to persuade you all. We've already tortured this animal so much; it's bleeding. One of its kids is already dead. So like taking 2 and not the rest isn't going to like lessen her pain. She's in so much pain.
No,
Hence
she's
why I
gonna
think we
revi-
should just end
Yeah.
her misery.
No.
She's gonna drop more eggs.
Yeah.
But roll a survival check for me.
What are you saying, Mo?
It makes the most sense that he would. Should I be generous or not?
No,
I'll
fuck
roll
that,
a
dude.
d20.
Whatever the fuck you were gonna be generous about, fuck that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be generous. Okay, never mind. Do as you will.
What was it? What were you trying to say, dude?
You didn't roll high enough, dude. I'm sorry. If anyone else wants to roll a survival check, I'll allow it.
For what?
Okay.
To do what?
I'll do it.
If you roll high enough, I'll tell you.
Oh my god.
Survival is +2.
Watch Frauke like ace it. She always comes in with the clutch rolls. What did I say?
Damn, dude.
Okay, so Frauke, because you have fucking common sense, if you leave
And
this
still
thing
on
and
top
take
of the
an egg,
beast.
even if it's 1 egg or all the eggs, it's going to get up and chase you.
But it's knocked
You're
out
going
right
to
now.
have- It's knocked
No,
out
but when it
right
wakes
now,
up, it's
but
gonna realize.
Yeah,
it's
but we'll
going
be
to
long
realize that
gone
an
by
egg
then,
was
no?
taken. Potentially. It depends how much distance you make before it wakes up.
How sure are we that we will not cover enough ground by then?
I think we should either kill it or like do something that it becomes like our
Kill it,
pet
kill
or
it, put it out of
something.
its misery.
Can
It
we
suffered so
tame
much.
it? Can we tame this dinosaur?
Amr would have to roll an exceptionally high animal handling, like natural 20. You just beat the shit out of it, and it's not gonna listen to you for anything.
I mean, what if that gets it to fear us? No?
Nah, guys, listen. Let's just leave it.
No, I mean when you kill a mother's child, nothing.
Wait, Mo, if we
Yeah,
leave the eggs,
generally-
can we still do an investigation, grab whatever and bounce?
You can. You can leave the
What?
eggs, take an investigation, and like bounce out. And with the eggs remaining, it'll not chase you. It's already lost the egg, and there's no danger, so it won't have any reason to chase you.
Because
But like, why did we do this?
Why did
Like,
we
why
do
did we
this?
just do
It
this?
wasn't the plan. I thought we would just steal an egg and leave, and then the egg broke and it got really
No,
angry.
that
and
was,
then,
that was always the plan.
But then you could have just left.
Yeah, but then I don't know. We didn't think about it, I guess. But then in a second, I
No,
was like,
dude, I knew this whole time. We're getting the eggs no matter what. If we have to kill it, we'll kill it.
no,
Yeah.
dude. But like, I wasn't thinking about it. Now that I thought
how
about
strongly do you feel about this, dude?
it, me? Very-
No,
As soon
Butter.
as you said the eggs are super valuable, I was like, ah.
Okay, Badr, you can kill this. You don't need the party's permission if you don't
Oh
want.
yeah, I'm gonna kill it.
Just saying.
But dude,
And
I'm
you're
saying
gonna-
it.
You're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
lose.
yeah,
You're gonna
yeah.
lose big ass favor with all of us. I think.
Nader, I have a question.
Wait. Everybody, anybody who wants to save this thing, roll perception. Badr, roll stealth.
I want to just do one thing before we kill it or we decide upon it.
Okay, okay.
I want to use my history or intelligence to see how endangered this animal is.
Okay, use it. Badr doesn't give a fuck.
But huge, dude. Better you're
Bro,
such a cunt.
You don't know
honestly.
shit.
Dude, you killed its children. It's bleeding like crazy. Who wants to live like that? Who
Bro,
wants to live?
who are you to make the choice for it, huh? If it hates it so much, it'll kill itself. خلاص. Dinosaurs are
No,
intelligent
it's-
creatures.
It's going to kill us.
Okay, then use
No, it
persuasion.
won't. It's down like an out. It's not gonna.
Faisal, roll persuasion. If you
Okay.
fail,
Badr, if you want to persuade everyone, we can count that roll as persuasion. If you just want to kill it and you don't give a fuck, go
No,
ahead
I'm
and roll
killing it.
stealth. We'll count it as stealth.
I'm
Okay, so
killing
everyone
it.
else roll perception then. If you want to stealth
Perception.
them.
But when this happens, do we get to lose favor with Badr?
How you react to this is up to you. dude.
Shut.
After it's all happened,
Ali, you can't roll twice, dude.
Ali's like browsing his books like from his backpack, trying to figure out like how endangered the species is still. He's not paying attention
the
to
seven-
what Badr is
the
doing.
7 was the history. The second one is the persuasion.
Oh,
the
okay.
I
perception.
know, but
I mean,
Oh,
could
you're
we
being
could we have
obsessed.
Omar roll the animal
Wait,
handling thing
Frauke, why
before?
haven't you? Yeah, don't you want to do the handling thing? Natural 20 could be in the books.
if you can't roll animal handling without the thing being awake.
Being awake,
If you
yeah.
want to wake it back up and try to have armor like deal with it.
I
you
mean,
could just
Bedr's gonna
potentially
kill it
turn
either
on.
way. It's got like 1 HP, so. Wait, bro,
Okay,
this is
so
exactly.
then,
Wait, hold on. I might be against the idea that because we've hit it so much, it wouldn't want to be our pet. Pokemon works on this exact principle of beating them down until they're like almost dead and then capturing them.
You don't kill their children.
Pokemon don't have children like that.
False equivalent might.
Okay, so what's the plan here? Are we waking it up? Is Badr sneaking and just killing it?
We first
Or-
wake it up and
I'm
try to do
killing it.
animal handling, and then Bedr's gonna try and
No,
sneak
too
kill
risky.
it.
Too risky.
What do you mean too risky? Nothing happens if it doesn't work. It's not gonna kill any of us.
No, it's gonna
If
try
you
and kill
want-
us.
If you want.
No,
to
it
do
won't.
the
It has
ladder,
1
or-
HP Bedr.
Okay,
It just
guys,
needs one of
guys,
us to hit
it's
it
very
once.
simple. It's
If we wake
it's
up, we have
very
to use
simple.
health potions.
Hit us up,
And
man.
then
What?
we can help.
What it
Frauke,
is.
roll, what's it called? Fucking
Initiative?
turn initiative, and Badr roll initiative. If Frauke gets there first, she'll use lay on hands to give it 1 HP, so that it's easy to kill. If Badr gets there first, it just dies. Okay, Frauke, you bring it back on 1 HP,
Okay.
and it's freaking out. It immediately scuttles backwards. It takes a defensive position, tail hovering over the eggs, but it doesn't attack you guys. I think I think it recognizes that you guys are capable of killing it, and it's not taking any aggressive actions. It's taking fully defensive actions, and every time someone tries to get close, it like waves the tail at them. So I'm going to roll for Amr an animal handling check to see if you can like close the distance.
We
with
want
safety.
a pet Stegosaurus, man.
What's the animal handling on Amr, Ali?
Animal
It's like
handling.
+6 or something, right?
Please.
What?
+3?
It's better as the high.
I'm +5, yeah.
Yeah, better go roll.
Well, the problem is Badr wants to kill it, bro.
I can roll the animal handling. Like I can't kill it now. I can
Okay.
roll it.
Okay.
And since it's being defensive, I see no reason why we should kill it.
Okay. Badr roll dexterity.
Brother is gonna die. I can already without it.
17. Whether you come in close, you're like trying to use all your experience. The moment you step within hand's reach of the eggs, the tail comes whipping for your head. You barely manage to dodge out of the way. So it's up to you now. You can either back off and give it its space, or you can just finish this.
What about Umar? Wait, did Umar roll for dexterity? Or did Umar roll
Umar
for
is,
animal? He didn't
it's
roll.
a-
I
for
roll
animal
for animal
handling.
because mine.
Okay,
animal's
can
higher,
Umar
that's what-
can Umar try again for animal? Can we all roll for animal handling?
Everyone roll. You need to get a 20. If you don't get a 20, you're not gonna get it.
I know, but I thought like, why not? Let's all just give it a try. I have. Oh my god! Shit!
Damn.
Dude, we
Okay,
did it.
okay, so
Falca,
one
you
by one.
are the G.
Okay, so first,
Ali got higher as well.
actually Frauke was this. So first I have to roll dex for armor because he failed. So what's the dex for armor? 2,
How
right?
much is this? 1 second. How much
Dexterity.
is 30 is +1.
Plus 1.
But Ali's even higher. Ali's 23.
No, but he's natural.
No, but you got a natural. Yeah, you got
Yeah.
a natural 20.
Okay.
Natural
So-
20 is like impossibly lucky.
Y-
Like Frauke,
yeah,
you won
so-
a 1 out of 20 chance. You know, like that's like a 5% chance.
Wait, who else has to roll dexterity?
No one, because Frauke was next in the order and she succeeded.
Oh, okay.
Armor
But-
takes 19 damage, by the way. I think he might be unconscious.
No, he has 24 life.
Okay, so he's on 5 HP.
Yeah.
So Armor gets knocked backwards in the room, and Frauke, when you come up and you like pull your sword out just slightly, just like a little bit of intimidation, it remembers the 2 times you like fucked it up with the light,
God.
and it slowly like moves its tail away from the eggs, and doesn't do anything. Now you can either take the eggs, or you can try to tame the Stegosaurus.
Tame the fucking
Taming
Stegosaurus.
taming the Stegosaurus will be another roll, but I'll give you advantage because you got a nat 20.
Oh my god. Okay, well, now we gotta try
Wait,
it.
wasn't it? Wait, I don't get it. Why? I thought the animal handling was to tame it.
The animal handling was to close the distance. Bro, you're trying to convince a dinosaur to join your party. It's not gonna be
It's
one roll.
not gonna be a 1 roll thing. Fine, fair
It's
enough.
gonna be a hard sell.
Yeah.
So now I do a 2d20.
2d20 plus
Plus
whatever your
2,
charisma
okay.
is.
Charisma.
That's fine. That's
Charisma,
fine. The same thing.
charisma.
Is that right? Oh,
No, it's only Frauke who closed the distance, I guess.
Yeah, the rest of you are not allowed near.
I got 23.
13 plus 2, 15 is minimum DC. Okay. You manage to close the distance and slowly touch its head. And you touch its head and you like put the blade away and it relaxes its tail.
But I was
It's
already
not
on top.
comfortable.
No, you weren't.
No, but you got off after it died.
Okay.
So after you've closed the distance and you've touched it, it slowly calms down and it puts its tail down. Whenever anybody else tries to close the distance, the tail comes back up. But it seems to have formed some kind of connection with you. Almost like you're the alpha of the pack because you beat the shit out of it. Like, so it will listen to you and only you. And it might not listen even. You're gonna have to roll persuasion, and over time, it'll get better at listening to your commands. But you have a pet Stegosaurus.
Oh my
for now.
god! That's
If
so
you
And
fail
then-
too many rolls, it'll go its own way.
Okay.
Oh man, seriously,
A
bro?
1 HP Stegosaurus. Yeah.
Alright,
So,
but for now, we
One
have
by
a pet
one, okay,
Stegosaurus.
Frauke also lists that you have 4 eggs. It lets you take the eggs. The moment anybody else tries to touch them, it freaks out. So you have the eggs in your pack,
And you get to
and
decide
it's
what to
allowing
do
you
with
to
them.
take care of them. And it will allow you to ride it as well, so you have that as a mount.
We've effectively enslaved it. This is beyond torture.
Yeah, whatever, Bedder's salty. But Bedder's a fucking psychopath, man. Just wants to kill everything. I
Just
knew it.
want to put it out of its misery.
I know Bedder so well. That's why we don't play RPGs with Bedder. He wants to kill.
Okay. So I'm assuming you guys are gonna want to take a long rest here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll call it.
Is two of you are like near death.
I'm about to die. Yes.
Yeah.
But wait. Also a question.
Okay,
So the
another
Stegosaurus would
thing. Another
freak
thing.
out if she sold the egg, right?
Yeah.
If anybody else touched the eggs, it would go on a rampage.
But Frauke can, yeah.
No, but Frauke
Frauke
can't
can
sell
touch
them
them.
though.
Yeah, because she would have to give them to someone else, and the moment they touched it, khalas.
I mean, look, when we'll use the dinosaur, and when the time comes to sell it, we'll kill the dinosaur.
على كيفك.
It
بدر.
depends,
Maybe
bro.
maybe we
It
can raise
depends.
these for a smaller
Yeah.
dinosaur.
Better.
and
Wait, there's
If you
4
manage
of
to
them.
raise-
And there's
Yes,
4
if you
of
manage
us.
to
We
raise
could
4
have
of
a
them,
whole
exactly.
pack.
Exactly.
Better and
I will
probably I don't know.
mention-
Dinosaurs have like accelerated aging, right? So it wouldn't take long. Right? They
Yeah,
have
it
a
wouldn't
quick
take that long. It
maturity
would be a
rate of
couple of-
like.
It would be like a couple of weeks in game time, so you'd have to wait, but it would happen.
You wanted to kill
Like,
it, dude.
If you think.
And now we're gonna be
if you think
dinosaur
about-
riders. This is amazing.
Also, I have to mention, Frauke, this thing is your pet, but feeding it, taking care of it, cleaning it, healing it, it's all your responsibility. Training it, everything. So a lot of your short rests.
And naming it.
Right? What do you want to
Amazing.
name it? What do you want to name it?
I'm gonna think about that.
I'm gonna give you one healing potion, so you can just give it for now.
So, a part of your daily activities as a group is gonna have to be hunting something for this thing to eat.
Oh.
It can help. Actually, it's a herbivore. You just need to let it graze. Never
Yeah.
mind.
It's
Yeah.
a herbivore.
It's a veggie.
It's all good. You need
Dude,
to
we
stop
could
for,
even
like,
take
a
it
couple
back to
hours.
the path and kill the one vine thing on the road. That would be stupid. But
No, the vines are destroyed. Oh, no.
man,
Yeah.
So,
that's so.
I'll
fucking
say
hype,
you
man.
need to take a couple of hours every day for it to just eat. So a couple of hours every morning, that kind of thing. So your days are slightly shorter because you need to work around the Stegosaurus while it's with you. But Frauke, at least you have it as a rideable mount, so you don't have to be on the wagon if you don't want to.
And you can use it in combat. But also
You
interestingly,
can.
this doesn't make us super OP though, because we can't just walk around with a Stegosaurus in like a big city or into like a pub. You know?
Yeah, you could potentially convince a stable master to take care of it.
That's
Be
a
a hard sell.
conversation.
But yeah, for the most
Injury
part,
design,
actually,
no
Stegosauruses-
dinosaurs.
Stegosauruses are very tanky and they do a reasonable amount of damage, but their challenge rating is the same level as you. So as you guys get to a higher level, it will get more and more useless. But for now, it's pretty OP.
Oh, for real? So it won't like by the time we get to the end boss, it's not gonna be useful?
No. You'll still be the same level, so it'll be
Mm.
useful for that. If you can get it up there, by the way. Good luck trying to get a Stegosaurus up a mountain.
Oh right, because it's a
Um,
whole man. Yeah. Tough.
That'll be helpful for now.
What's
You
up?
can work. You'll be able to work it out, dude. It's gonna be interesting at the very least. You have a
Yeah,
fucking
I
pet
don't
guy.
think anyone was accounting for this, huh?
Definitely not. Dude, that's the fun of D&D though. All these fucking random things that happen.
Yeah, and then we can just work around it. I'm so glad we didn't kill it. Like, that's crazy, man. Now we have a fucking Stegosaurus. I've never in my life played
Had a
a game
Stegosaurus?
that lets you do this. Not like legit. Have any of you ever done that? I've never in my life.
Isn't there that open world dinosaur game where you can like?
No, I mean yeah, Ark, which is
Oh,
free
Ark.
on Steam by
Yeah.
the way. Or sorry, on Epic Game Store right now. Just letting you know.
Ark is pretty good, but it's not. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
Actually.
I mean,
the game's old now, and like people who are way ahead, they just have controls. They have control of all the servers, so it's like impossible
to do
to
anything.
progress. Yeah, they just come as soon as you make a base, they'll come and raid it just for fun. So
Cunt.
yeah, it's
Uh,
not worth it.
Great rest.
Man, but no, but what I meant in general was like this whole like scenario. This is a story I think will never be. I would never be able to replicate again. You know. Just so
Oh,
insane.
more and more
Yeah.
crazy stuff to come as well.
I'm sure.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
But will anything be quite as crazy as we tamed a Stegosaurus at level 3? With
I
a
think it will
natural,
stay level
with a
3 for the rest.
natural 20, Mo.
Dude, trust me, man. It's only a matter of time. Something fucking crazy will happen.
Wait, Mo, what was the craziest thing you saw in D&D?
Bro, the craziest thing I've ever seen is I created a final boss for my party that was supposed to be like a challenge, like potentially one of them would die. And they managed to sneak into his bedroom at nighttime, and they killed him in one surprise round. He never even got up.
The fuck?
What? That's
I think
crazy.
there was like I think there was like 3 natural 20s on that one round. 3 players all rolled a natural 20, so it was like 3 people double damage, 2 people regular damage. He didn't fucking wake up. He basically
And the
woke
boss
up
could,
and
like,
getting
one-shot.
stabbed. Like, yeah, like
Dude.
the whole boss was dead in one round.
Insane. That's
It was a
insane.
fucking sick moment though. They like
Yeah.
because they were liberating a city or like a village from like the guy who was taking control of it, and they just snuck in at night, killed him, and then like woke up all the villagers with his head. Like,
I'm like, yeah, guys, look what we did.
we solved your problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have fun. Dude, awesome shit, man.
Alright, man, I'm out of time. I have to go.
Yeah. No, all good,
Yeah.
bro.
Yo, someone catch Amr up on everything that happened before
I will
next
do it.
session.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
do
gonna
that.
be
I'm
quite
late
a
tomorrow. I'm
story,
gonna be
huh?
like, if I oversleep tomorrow, I'm just gonna be like, well,
Yeah.
it was worth it. I have a pet dinosaur now.
Yeah,
so.
I had to, listen, I was busy taming a Stegosaurus. Could you cut me some slack?
Sure.
Alright,
I
man.
should-
Prophet, don't
I
forget
tell- should I tell him
the
or
name.
should I
Yo,
All yours.
Thanks for the
I
session,
will.
guys.
I will think about it.
Alright,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Thank you for the
Like,
session, bro.
Thank you,
We'll
Mo.
do it on
Really appreciate
Saturday
it.
again or
Alright, bro.
Friday, right?
I'll see you guys like next
Wh-
week.
Yeah, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah. We'll
We'll
talk in the messages
Yeah.
and confirm everything.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright,
Yeah.
buddy. Thanks, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Oh, wait, Frauke left too? Hey, Mo. Ali, sorry. Buddha. Hallo?
Ja,
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 Mann. Ah, krank, ne? Kranke
ja,
Scheiß.
ja, auf jeden Fall.
Oh Mann, war dick, war richtig cool. Fucking hell. War nice. Ich habe auch.
Ach, ich hätte nicht erwartet, dass wir sowas jetzt gemacht hätten.
Ja, Bro. Bruder, das gefällt mir an dir, Bro. Du bist auch mit mir so auf dieser Ebene im Spiel, weißt du? Hättest du nicht gesagt, so, ey, nee, lass nicht töten, wäre vorbei, weißt du? Manche Leute,
Ich habe
die können nicht.
schon gerollt, der Attacke, und dann dachte ich mir, während ich attackiert habe, dachte ich mir, oh, der hat schon ein bisschen recht mit dem Abend hier.
Ja,
Weil, Bruder, ich spiele ja meine Rolle. Meine Rolle ist ein Magier, der gleich eine Weisheit hat. Und
genau.
dachte ich mir, okay.
Ja, ich weiß nicht, was für eine Rolle Battle gerade spielt, Bruder. Der wird problematisch sein für uns, Wallah.
Der spielt Ranger, Alter. Und ich als Magier finde dich auch ein bisschen skeptisch, weil weißt du, so Rogues, Rangers sind für mich so eine
Aber ich
Bedrohung.
bin ein Rogue mit einem Herz aus Gold.
Ja, werden wir noch sehen, Alter.
Was meinst du? Hast du ja gesehen, eben. Ich bin der,
Ja,
der vorgeschlagen hat, lass nicht töten.
Gerade eben hast du Pluspunkte mir gesammelt, das stimmt echt. Aber ich
Ja.
bin eher skeptisch gegen 3 meiner Mitglieder. Ja, echt.
Gegen
Du,
mich.
Battle und Omar. Das sind 3 skeptische Mitglieder.
Aber ich sollte jetzt die besten Punkte gesammelt haben. Du hast
Ja, du bist
mich verdächtigt, ne? Und,
Ja.
ne?
Ja, genau, aber so Rangliste von Leuten, die ich am meisten vertraue, ist natürlich Frauke Nummer 1,
Ja,
weil die halt ein Paladin ist und ich vertraue Paladin auf ihre
Paladine,
Ehre.
ne?
Ne?
Heilig. Ja.
Genau, die sind heilig und die sind vertrauenswürdig, weißt du noch?
Ja.
Und dann gerade eben hast du einen Punkt gesammelt, ne? Also am niedrigsten warst du eigentlich, um ehrlich zu sein, weil du ein Rogue bist. Ne? Und ich vertraue
Am
Rogues am
Anfang
wenigsten.
so, ne? Ja.
Ja, weil ich immer skeptisch gegen Rogues bin. Rangers sind so, weißt du, die sind für ihre Sache, aber die sind auch ziemlich vertrauenswürdig. Aber Bruder, weiß ich nicht, was er ist, deswegen weiß ich nicht, ob ich ihn trauen kann oder nicht.
Der ist ein Druid.
Ja, Bruder, ich weiß nicht, ob man ihn trauen kann.
Der
Ich
ist
finde,
so
Druide sind
eins mit der Natur, so.
genau.
Hippies.
Aber was
bisschen.
Menschen sind, das weiß ich noch nicht. Deswegen ist auch mal bei mir neutral.
Ja, gut. Verstehe.
Aber ja, Lucky, auf jeden Fall gute Entscheidung, was du gekriegt hast.
Ja, Mann, das war fucking geil, Alter.
Weil ich hatte den feinen Blow gehabt, so, weißt du nicht. Ich hätte den jetzt töten können.
Ja, ich schwöre, Bro. Ich stell dir vor, ne, wäre Bedde dran, hätte den einfach getötet und dann wäre vorbei. Ja. Sehr
Wir
schade.
hätten ja Para und ein bisschen mehr Para und Deals bessere als statt ein Tier.
Ja, jetzt aber, ne, jetzt ist gut.
Aber guck mal, Butter spielt echt gut, der spielt seine Rolle.
Ja, aber fuck, Alter, ich hasse das, seine Rolle, das fuckt mich ab. Ich hasse Leute, die so sind.
Ja, oder du bist selber so weißt du bist so ein Rogue, ne?
Nee, aber wie
Ist
gesagt,
nicht part of ID auch.
Mein Charakter ist immer so einer, der halt so trotzdem, also obwohl ich ein Rogue bin, ne, und Leute sehr schnell töten kann, ich bin im Herzen halt ein guter Kerl und ich will halt ähm, Leute helfen, so. Und das ist mein Charakter halt.
Ja, okay,
Ich bin so
da musst
nicht
du mich,
stereotypischer Rogue, weißt du?
okay, das musst du mich überzeugen. Gerade hast du einen guten Schritt gemacht, um mich zu überzeugen.
Ja, ja, werden wir auch weitermachen, glaube ich. Ich glaube, das ist die Rolle, die ich gut spielen kann. Ich bin ein Rogue,
Ja,
Bruder, aus, wie soll ich das sagen? Aus Pflicht oder Zwang, weißt du?
ja,
Ich hatte nicht so, ich hatte keine andere Wahl als Kind, so eine Welt, weißt du?
mhm,
Ich war arm, Eltern waren nie da, so musste halt für mich
ja.
selber sorgen und da kam alles
Das,
her, ne? Aber
das,
das, was ich am meisten über alles will, wurde,
warte, Alex. Lass mal das beim nächsten Firecamping machen. Wir sitzen und
ja,
reden.
beim nächsten Abend machen wir mal eine Rede, ja, auf jeden
Am
Fall.
Abend sitzen wir und danach erzählen wir über unsere Backstory ein bisschen, nicht zu viel, weißt du, weil wir nehmen an, dass wir uns schon seit ein paar Jahren kennen, aber nicht so wirklich persönlich kennen, ne? Und es wird jetzt endlich
Ja,
Zeit, dass wir uns persönlich kennenlernen.
also ich weiß nicht wie, also wir sind schon was länger halt eine Truppe gewesen.
Ja,
Ähm,
also wie der Tension Master gesagt hat, wir jagen Monster gemeinsam. Wir kamen irgendwie willkürlich zusammen und jagen halt Monsters jetzt.
ja, aber schon seit einer Weile, ne?
Genau, genau. Also ein paar Jahren sagen wir schon, weißt du noch.
Ja, wir
Und
schauen
jeder
mal,
hat
wie
sein,
das.
genau, und jeder hat seine Motiv, warum der in diese Clique gekommen ist und was seine echten Intentionen sind.
Ja. Nee,
Weil ich habe auf jeden Fall meine Intention, warum ich diese Clique beigetreten bin als Magier, als 70-jähriger Bruder.
Ach so, du hast einen Grund?
Ja, Bruder.
Ja, du meintest, du wirst kein Backstory für dich schreiben. Jetzt auf einmal hast du voll die Story.
Bruder, ich habe immer Stories. Ich wollte nur nicht schreiben, Alter. Schreiben ist für mich recht so.
Aber du hattest
Ich
schon
habe
immer diese Story, so.
ich hab schon immer, Bruder, ich bin sehr kreativ in Sachen, was für eine Storytelling. Für meinen Charakter.
Really? I didn't know this.
Ich habe bei Skyrim, Bruder, voll geroleplayt, Alter.
Hast du voll die Filme gedreht, so.
Bruder, ich hab vor Skyrim mir einen Film gedreht und ich habe mir nach Skyrim einen Film gedreht und Bruder, mein Charakter war am Ende so ein Typ, ein super starker Magier, ne? Der
Hm.
Archmage, der in der Zeit unsterblich geworden ist, der hat aus Versehen Lichmeister gelernt, okay? Und ja, und seitdem ist er angeblich tot für die Welt, aber lebt noch und undercover, weißt du, ne?
Krass.
Ja,
Nice Story. Ja, bei mir war es immer so, Shadow, war ich so immer Stealth Rogue, so.
Self-Road, ja.
Halt immer so Leben am Limit, weißt du. Nie eine
Der,
da, immer solo, aber, ne, halt, weary, sag ich mal, ne, also, ich vertraue nicht schnell, ne, weil ich nicht dumm bin, aber würde gerne schneller vertrauen können, glaube ich, so ist
ja,
das.
aber du siehst dich jetzt gerade, du bist ja ein unvertraulicher Mensch, nur eher, ne? Aber du siehst diese Clique hier als Familie quasi und du denkst, also nicht Familie, so Friends temporarily, ne? Du hoffst, dass da was entwickelt.
Ja, und langsam, ne, wenn wir so Schritte zueinander machen, dann sind wir im Endeffekt so eine dicke Familie und dann stirbt eine und ich weine.
Du hast einen miesen Schritt bei mir gekickt, Alter, hast mich beklaut.
Nur um ein bisschen Spaß. Guck, Bruder, ich will Bedda raus. Aus der Clique.
So, also, du hast ein Problem mit ihm quasi, ne? Okay.
Wie mit ihm so.
Dein Charakter ein Problem mit seinem Charakter quasi.
Weiß nicht, Bruder, diese Rangers, Alter, mir gefällt. Ich finde, der ist gefährlich für uns, Bruder. Der ist richtig für sich da, weißt du?
Ja, ja.
Ihm,
Oder ich,
ne, ihm sind wir halt komplett egal und ich weiß nicht, bin nicht okay damit, Bro. Deswegen dachte ich so, weißt du, bisschen so was gegen ihn schieben. Deswegen, Bro, ich hab dich nicht beraubt, um mich zu bereichern oder so.
ja, ich weiß, du wolltest einfach eine Flamme aufstiften,
Genau, Bruder,
damit die Leute schon mal denken, der Junge ist korrupt.
Das ist die Taktik, ja. Das
Ja,
ist die Taktik.
lustig, Alter.
Ja, Mann, war witzig, das fuck eigentlich.
Ja, schade, dass mein Bruder echt nicht dabei war.
Hm?
Ja, schade, dass mein Bruder nicht dabei war.
Schade, ja, ich
Ähm,
weiß nicht, Emma war irgendwie, keine Ahnung wo.
ja, ein Freund von ihm ist richtig besoffen geworden, der muss sich um den kümmern.
Ja, ja, also ich hab das vermutet, so.
Okay, so, ja. Aber ansonsten hat er auf jeden Fall ein paar lustige Ideen mit beigetragen. Weil er ist schlau an sich. In solche Sachen.
Was meinst du, dein Bruder?
Ja.
Ja, Digga, klar, ich habe ihn gern, ja. Und ich bin froh, dass er halt unsere Zockergruppe ein bisschen ergänzt.
Mhm.
Wir zu dritt, ich
Ah,
denke. Hm?
lach, guck mal, diese Antennen von den Stegosaurus.
Stegosaurus, was damit?
Mo hat ein Dings Sheet gestellt für den
Hold on
General.
to the stat sheet.
Interessant.
Ja, fucking fett, Alter. Frauke hat sich einfach ein Staggy geholt. Crazy.
Ja, Mann. Aber ich sag, ja, das stimmt echt. Wir werden auch alle diese Teile wahrscheinlich schlüpfen lassen und sie wäre schon
Was meinst du?
zähmen. Wir werden auch ihre Kinder wahrscheinlich zähmen, ne?
Ja, genau, ich hoffe, wir bekommen ihr Kinder auch noch. Und dann
Ja, aber das Ding ist, was der Mo gesagt hat, ist, wir können es nicht immer im Angriff verwenden am Anfang, weil da musst du immer rollen, ne, dass der was tut, was du gesagt
Persuasion.
hast.
Ist wie,
Genau.
kennst du Charizard in der Pokémon-Serie?
Ja, genau, richtig. Und wenn du schwach bist, dann haut der irgendwann mal ab und so.
Nee, also wenn wir zu oft hintereinander fehlschlagen, wenn
Mhm.
unsere Rolls halt dreimal, viermal hintereinander so eins oder so ergeben, ne, dann
Ja.
haut er ab. Aber wenn wir ihn, also je mehr wir ihn überreden, sage ich mal, ne, oder
Mhm.
halt positive Rolls bekommen, desto näher zu uns wird er kommen, so.
Genau. Und dann nimmt
Und,
der muss der
des,
ganze
und je mehr wir in den Roll fehlschlagen, ne, desto weiter weg von uns er halt gehen will.
Ja, genau.
Gerade ist es alles ein bisschen sensibel. Wir müssen halt wir müssen wirklich darauf hoffen, dass wir die ersten zwei, drei Rolls nicht verkacken. Sonst gibt
Mhm.
es Probleme. Aber im Moment kann man sagen, wir haben Stegosaurus.
Ja, Mann, geil. Also,
Ist ja fett, Bruder.
ganz, ich weiß nicht, ich gehe jetzt was klonen, dann schlafen. Schon 2 Uhr.
Ja,
Alter.
Bruder, okay, Mann. Schlaf
Mhm.
schön, Bro. Wir schreiben, was ist dann, wann könntest du das nächste Mal?
Freitag oder Samstag.
Freitag oder Samstag?
Wahrscheinlich.
Okay, ich schreibe mal auch mit Frauke und deinem Bro und dann schauen wir mal. Ne?
Ja, alles klar. Ja.
Alright, Buddy.
Schönen Abend und schlafen.
Wünsche ich dir auch, Habibi. Schlaf schön. Ciao.